Hi friends, how you doing? Welcome to another session of D&D Stealing Dragons. We are excited to finally be back in action after quite some time of being down here. It's nice to get back and kind of play some fun D&D with a lot of individuals who absolutely love D&D and want to be on cam and want to entertain. Which is what we are all about here. Everybody's kind of getting settled in, as you couldn't already tell. Thank you, Ark, for the 300-bit cheer. If you couldn't tell, we're doing Christmas sweater, apparently. I find out 5 minutes before we start our group session here for the cams. So quickly grab my Fallout sweater, and I'm all set. Tonight, we're going to continue through our kind of jaunt around the Trollskull Alley, see if we can find us some allies before we continue through the rest of Waterdeep here. Got a lot ahead of us here. It's going to be exciting, going to be fun. Glad to have each and every one of you that are tuning in for this session. I know it's been a very, very long time since we've had a Dragon Heist game, so very nice to have you. Let's see, what else? Upcoming week. Everybody knows the last couple of weeks here of the month, we're into the holiday season. It's going to be a little hit or miss as far as how much time we have and what streams we're able to put together. I promise you, we will do everything we can to put together as many games as possible. With that being said, we have Tyranny coming up next week. We have Giants coming up on the 19th. We also have Civil War coming up on the 26th, just after Christmas. There's rumors, and I kind of hinted at it, that I want to put together something for Christmas. Maybe we'll do something Christmas Day. If you want to tune in and be entertained, that would be fantastic. And then Ascension finally gets to return on the 30th. We hope you'll tune in for all of these because everybody is super excited. I'm super excited to have these games coming back. I'm ready. I'm ready to get back into it. I'm going to check in with the other group. They sound like they're about ready. You guys about ready over here?
I think we are. Now that we've gotten all that out of our system.
Yep.
I was listening as closely as I could to see where we were in the conversation. I was like delaying it. Like, can I stretch this for another 30 seconds? It's fine.
Phil, it's fine. What they're talking about is not something you need to hear. Phil.
He said stretch it for another 30 seconds.
I mean, it is what it is, all right?
Well, that's the D&D session tonight, folks. Bye!
Well done. Here we go.
All right, so welcome back, everybody. It's been a hot minute since we played this last, and I'm excited to get back into it. As y'all can't see this, but there's a gigantic white hair, and I don't know where it came from.
You're old.
Yeah, you're old. No, it's fine.
It was like this long.
Stop being old.
It was
Wait,
you can
nose
see
hair.
my hair. There's one nose hair. Just really.
I'm not that old, Steve. I'm not your age, Jesus.
Sorry.
wait, hold on.
Wait, how old is Steve?
I'm
I think
super
Steve-
old.
I'm
Pretty sure
older
Steve's
than
younger
all
than
of
me,
you.
so I'm 90% sure Steve is younger than me. Which
Definitely
makes me
older
sad.
than Havoc.
I don't think so.
I'm older than all of you.
You are super old. So
I'm
think
super
I'm the
old.
baby here.
I'm literally the old guy of the group.
maybe I'm thinking of Cassie. I'm older than.
You're older than
Maybe.
Cassie by like a week. We've had this conversation.
Did we?
I don't remember when's your birthday.
I had the conversation with Havoc. His birthday is like mid-June.
Mm-hmm.
He's like barely older than you.
All right. Anyway.
Side notes.
Side
I have
notes.
2 kids, so I'm naturally just like
Yeah,
super
just-
old.
You're super
Yeah.
old.
Seem
It's
old
fine.
now, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. All right. So, so we're going back into Waterdeep, into the situation that we've been on. Steve, were you going to do your little,
Recap?
recap from the perspective of Viz to give us a little insight of what happened last time.
So the biggest note I have here is, as Viz is, Kai and I talked about being cheated and when it's okay to accept being lied to. And apparently sometimes that just happens in life and someone's going to lie to you and you just have to be okay. And then you can't always stab them in the back either. Sometimes you just have to accept it and just roll with it. And then you can be angry and you can be upset about it, but you can't always react to it. Volo did teach us about Trollskull Manor, and there was a troll war like centuries ago, and this entire district where our new home is, Trollskull Manor, is named Troll something. And that's because of this big war against trolls, and Troll Key Street was the original like frontline wall. Like that's where they held back the defenses. So there's like a lot of really cool history and stuff like that. It's super neat. The manor is named after the area, not the other way around. Also, as a brief side note here, Volo wrote a guide about being trapped in the Nine Hells during the Second Sundering. That sounds really interesting. I want to know more about that. Anyway, it's super neat. This area of the district, I would describe as the rich as fuck district. It's very nice here, and I totally don't belong. I have 2.5 gold to my name right now, so I don't belong here. But anyway, we found our home. We live here now, Trollskull Manor, and it's pretty beat up. But Volo said he bought it originally because he was interested in being inspired for his new and upcoming book, A Guide to Spirits. He thought the house was haunted. It's not. So he didn't really care about throwing it away to us. We spent the day last time meeting our neighbors and figuring out who lived around us. There's several shops around us, and we got to meet a few of those people. Our neighbors immediately, I think it's east or southeast of the house. The master of the home is Master Amokthra? Amkothra? Is that right?
I don't have my notes up right now, so I can't confirm or deny.
The master of the house, they were out inspecting their ranches, which is to the north. The butler is Geo. He's super nice, and he gave us a lot of information, and he's very polite and said if we ever have questions. We met the owner of the Bent Nail, Tally, and Kai was wonderful and bought everyone beds. And then we bought some extra beds for guest bedrooms. They said that Tally said that they could help us furnish our home and things like that.
Wait. They're not guest bedrooms. We're using them to get money, okay?
Okay. Additional bedrooms, multi-purpose rooms with beds.
Yes, that's
We visited Steam and Steel, which is ran by Avi and Embrick. They're a wonderful couple. One's Fire Genasi, one's a Wonder Genasi, and they're super kind and sweet, and they're just wonderful dudes. Then we went over to Bookworm's Treasure, where we met Rishal, and if you call him Rishal, he will say, "I'm Rishal, the page turner." He has very lovely white robes and is very smart. He said he could sell us arcane glyphs on our home for like 300 gold per arcane glyph. That sounds great. I can't wait to magically enhance our house. And yeah, that's everyone we met last time.
All right, so you've spent your time trying to get a bit acclimated to Trollskull Alley here. This place that you have now, been given a house. You didn't really purchase it, but this manor that you've come to and been given the deed to, and went through all the proper steps of getting a magistrate to go through and sign it. When Volo passed it over to all of your ownership, you all jointly own this place, possessing a deed with all of your signatures and such on it. You spent yourself, like I said, your time acclimating yourself with the people around you, these different businesses and stuff.
Oh my god, I forgot. We went back to the warehouse and I have a magic bird.
Yes.
It's made out of paper, but I totally forgot to say it.
Went back to the Zentarum hideout that you found when Raynar Neverember previously there, who seemed that a mistaken identity had happened regarding one Floon who you saved. From this.
Risk was so cool. He just talked to the guards and he was like, "Yo, let us in." And they were like, "Okay, man." It was amazing.
It was. So, at this point, you've gone through and met a few of the people over to the east side of Trollskull Alley, making your way through and finding some different businesses, lots of different types of businesses in the area. You do notice that around you, especially in the castle ward and such, there are businesses, obviously. here and there, but a lot of the area around you is residential housing, and most of it is very similar to your manor, albeit not quite as rundown and such. Trollskull Manor definitely needs some TLC, and you started starting to add up the figures and talking here and there between the business owners and the guilds of Waterdeep that they belong to, and you were able to get kind of a rough estimate of how much money you would have to sink into this place to try to get it back up and running, back into a tavern of sorts, rather. And you kind of have that rough figure in your heads. As you continue on and start exploring a little bit further into Trollskull Alley here. There's notes I don't have in front of me. Where are my areas? There they are. Nice. Okay.
T1, Trollskull Alley. T2, or Orange Furniture, Ornate Furniture, Bent Nail. T3, The Forge. T4 was a 3-story house.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, T4 was the Corlun's Crown, which you saw as you kind of looked at it. 3-story townhouse. You had looked at it from outside. And the very top floor of this place was a greenhouse, completely covered in glass and such, very, covered up and everything from the elements, but completely open to the sun, as you saw a bunch of plants and things of that nature up top. T5 didn't get a whole lot of information on this. Just as you walked by it, you saw what appeared to be an orange and black sign featuring cat's eyes across it. And then T6, you did venture over to for a brief visit. You found a very short dragonborn, most dragonborn that you've seen throughout the city, as well as your travels and such. Well over, 6 feet tall, some approaching 7 or 8 feet tall, some of the larger ones. This one was barely pushing 5 feet rather. Being a gold dragonborn named Rishal the Page Turner. He told of his place. Basically, it was just a bookstore called Bookworm's Treasure. He offered a few services, said that he was a spellcaster and a member of the Watchful Order of Magus and Protectors. Offered some services as far as like copying spells, and had some spells, scrolls and books for sale, albeit unfortunately a little bit out of your price range at this moment. And those are the buildings in the area. The ones you have not ventured into or met the occupants of would be the one with this strange-looking cat's eyes on the door, and then the apothecary, Corlun's Crown. What do y'all want to do?
Oh, does anyone else feel like I have to apologize? I just spiced out for a moment. I feel like it's been about a month.
It's been 3 seconds. We just walked out of the bookkeeper shop.
Yeah, you've never had one of those experiences where you just kind of look off thinking of something, and then next moment it feels like it's been a month, but it's only been a few seconds.
No, I get that. Yeah, I get that.
I understand what you're saying, Risk.
What were we in the middle of?
I guess we could go see the apothecary or whatever the cat's eye place is.
I love a pet. You think they sell pets?
Maybe.
I'm
worth finding out.
Eyeballs of animals?
I'm not.
Does anyone
so
here
certain.
have any animal allergies I should be aware of?
I don't like cats. I'm not fond of cats.
What if we got you a really nice fish?
Is it because they're assholes? Because that's why I don't
I don't
like
know how I
cats.
feel about that.
Would she carry the fish, around with her?
Can you speak to fish?
Yes, I think I can to water animals that they can't communicate back with me, but I can put give them my thought.
But can you though?
Telepathy to fish. Sick.
Talia's Aquaman.
Aqua woman.
You
What?
never know.
What the hell is an aqua woman?
A great hero spoke about in many bard stories and songs.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
I wouldn't know.
Would you though?
I
Speaking
would.
of, as you're all kind of walking around, like I said, you do see this this greenhouse sitting on top of this three-story townhouse. And you see the sign out in front of it called Corlun's Crown. Everybody give me either history or religion checks.
Making me do things right off the bat.
I'm
What's a character sheet? Hold on.
It's been so long. How do I do the
What
buttons?
is D&D? Oh, wow. That's
How
a good roll.
D&D work? Hey.
Shoe starting out the rolls.
Oh, so good.
Rules are made up and they don't matter. That's D&D.
I've never really
That
been to
is
this
D&D.
district. It's fine.
So, interesting. Okay. So Talia, Viz, and Kai. As you see this name up here on the sign, Coralon, you're reminded of a deity that you've heard a little bit about. Not a ton. Not anybody that you... not a particular deity that any of you serve or worship. But you've heard mention of them. You've heard of this deity called Coralon Larithian. Basically a elven god. One of... it's basically a patron god for all elves.
Do I know their? So I specifically did a religion check. Do I know their? This term like knowledge, life.
You know
Yeah.
that Coralon Larithian was the creator and preserver of the Tel Kesir, which was basically something that governed things held in the highest esteem among elves, such as magic, music, arts, crafts, poetry, and warfare. Kind of a god of all trades. One particular thing, Kai, that you do remember talking about is that most deities in the Forgotten Realms that are worshipped generally have a distinct gender associated with them. They may have avatars of mixed ones or back and forth and such. You know that they're very fluid with their gender as far as deities go, but Coralon was a bit more specific, never taking one or the other. It was always very neutral in the fact of, was Coralon a boy or a girl? It was never something that was really settled upon. It was very neutral, and he always is referred to by elves that worship him specifically as they.
Interesting. So I kind of pass this along to the rest of the group. And I want to be very specific about that. I want to kind of point out that that this god doesn't identify to a specific gender. Almost in a way just to make sure that I'm respectful to that god, even if I don't personally believe in what they have to say, and just kind of fill everybody in with, what I know of it.
Well, since we're already in front of the shop, I guess we should probably go in.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I will open the door and allow my party mates in first. I'll hold the door open.
All right. So as this door is opened, you all hear the chime of a bell that you see sitting up atop this door. And as you all start to walk in, with the door being held open by Viz, you all hear a voice trailing in. It seems to be coming from a set of stairs off to the back right. You hear this voice trailing off, obviously from up on at least the second floor, maybe higher. It's hard to tell. But you hear this voice saying, "Oh, coming, 1 second, please." So you mosey all in. You start looking around. You see a lot of things around you. You see some plants and such that are none of them in pots, being preserved in here. You do see a couple off to the side. As you're looking at them, they seem very dark, not quite wilted, but more so ones that you would recognize that do not require sunlight, things like mushrooms and toadstools, things of that nature. But you do see other plants in here, and you see that they've all been cut up and kind of set off to the side, some of them sitting on little leather placemats and such. As you look around further, you see vials and potion bottles around, carrying different types and colors of concoctions. What they are exactly, you're not too sure. You do recognize a few of the coloring to be potions of healing. However, though some of them do seem a bit larger and such. But as you're looking around, you start to hear soft padding footsteps, and as you look back toward the back of the room, you see a wood elf coming down. You see they are wearing this long braid, almost down towards their calves. Their hair is very, very long and braided to it. And as you do so, as this person walks down and looks over towards you all, kind of scanning the room, you see a very kind look on their face as they look around and bow their head. It says, "My name is Fala Lefelier, and this is my shop. Is there anything in particular you're seeking out today?"
Fala Lefayir?
And where are we on the map? Havoc, can you move us to that area?
Bloop.
T5, or sorry, T4.
T4. Yep.
Yes, you just went in that door.
Nice.
So, Fala Lefelier.
What do we know of the shop?
You know that it's called Cortland's Crown. Seems to be apothecary. Obviously, potions and such are sold here. And seems to be patroned by Fala here.
Okay.
I'll just step forward and bow a bit and just say, we're just new to the neighborhood and just checking out everything and saw your shop and thought it looked interesting and just stopping in.
Oh, well, it is very nice to meet you. I didn't
sorry.
catch your name.
Just call me John.
It is very nice to meet you, John. Is it
Um,
too high again?
Mhm.
I lowered it earlier.
There we go.
That's good.
Cute.
Wow, you have a lot of cool stuff here. Do you collect all this yourself and make it all yourself, or where does it come from? All the ingredients and stuff?
With that, Fala kind of looks around the room and says, "There are some things that, unfortunately, I cannot grow myself. I specialize in non-magical herbal remedies, though I do occasionally have help from others to procure rare items and such. But most of the ingredients that I make my remedies and such with, I grow here in-house." And they kind of point up to the top, up above them, up in my greenhouse that I've constructed.
Oh, that's really cool.
Do you sell things that would heal some wounds in the midst of a battle?
With that, Fala nods, says, "Yes, I do have some potions of healing, if that is what you're implying by that. I do sell them occasionally, among other things, of course."
It doesn't have to be a potion. I didn't know if that was very holistic. Maybe a salve or something like that that was a little more natural. But yeah, healing potions. I seem to be getting hurt a lot every time we fight, and I'm interested in owning healing potions.
He's really not exaggerating.
With that, Fala kind of chuckles a bit and nods, says, "Fighting tends to cause injuries one way or another, and I have been known to help theirs. If you were not looking for potions," you see Fala kind of turning around to these boxes, not finely crafted wood or anything, but boxes all having latches kind of stacked on each other, not very tall, a couple inches maybe. So these are kits that I've assembled from different plants and a few bandages, things of that nature, that I sell for those that, and kind of looks over at Viz, that may have trouble not scratching and bumping into stuff.
Can you teach me to be skilled with it? Like maybe even proficient with like a healer's kit?
With that, Fala kind of thinks for a moment, raising an eyebrow. Not much of a teacher, unfortunately. I know much more about herbs and plants if you would like to learn about that.
I would love that, honestly. If you could just teach me about like all the best barley and hops, I'm very interested in that information.
That would specifically come very in handy for Trollskull Manor whenever we get that finished.
I was thinking of another plant for us to sell or relax if they were proficient in them, but hops makes way more sense.
We're not going to speak about that right now. That's for later.
So as hops and barley are brought up, Tala kind of shakes their head, or Fala rather. I do not specialize in those kind of plants, unfortunately. Those are more for the distillers and such of Waterdeep to specialize in. I am more so in the business of ones that heal, and remedy things that ail you and such. And as Kai mentions, Trollskull Manor, he says, so that's what you meant by new to the neighborhood. What's the plan for old Trollskull Manor?
I mean, do you really want to know what we have in store, or are you just curious if it's gonna help you in some way?
I'm gonna whisper, like, do we tell him that we want him to be a brothel? Think it'll be okay? Maybe he can get us something that makes people feel more relaxed and want to sell their, or not sell their, like, give us their money.
Kai's gonna kind of look over his shoulder back in Talia's direction and kind of grin and say, what specifically do you have in mind? What do you need to know?
I don't know of anything on land. I'm not familiar with any of these plants on land. I don't know if you guys have stuff that can do this.
Oh yes,
as you're asking, follow this.
We're making a brothel.
Frog kind of steps back. Says, "I meant no offense. I have no interior motive. I just wanted to know about my new neighbors. What the plan for a place with so much history, or so I'm told. I'm not familiar with it, unfortunately. I keep to myself here in my shop. But I have heard there's been some issues, and it is a bit." You see them kind of thinking for a moment, a bit unsightly to the eyes, I suppose. And
well,
not to discourage you from the property. I mean no offense once again.
No, there's no offense. But I can assure you that no matter what decision we make with it, it will be up to standards for Trollskull Alley. We're simply looking to make money in any way we possibly can and bring happiness to the citizens, and look very intently into the eyes of this individual.
What kind of issues have
Make
you got on that?
Make a persuasion check.
Lots of happiness.
Lots of happiness.
Or a deception.
Everyone is going to get their happy ending if they visit our place.
Actually, yeah, no, give me a deception check.
Here Natalia shows up and she's just ready to pimp out humans as fast
I
as
love that we've gone from like, let's be an
Oh,
upscale
God.
bar to let's
No.
be a brothel.
So as you're describing your intentions to follow, you see them kind of listening along and nodding. He says, I'm sure you will do quite well in spreading happiness to others with your plans to Trollskull Manor. I just hope that it is well taken care of, and if anybody is new to the neighborhood and such, we like to take care of our own here. So if you do need anything or have any questions regarding the area, please ask away.
Well, if nothing else, happiness is, just pleasing people. I don't know. Somebody else want to take over here? I'm kind of drawing a blank.
You're doing great.
This is fine.
This is fine. Everything's on fire. Somebody help me, please.
Excuse me, Saul, I don't mean to interject too much, but you had mentioned there had been issues with Trollskull Manor. We're very new, as in, like, the amount of time we've spent in this neighborhood is like 26 minutes or so, to be exact. So, what kind of issues have happened at the manor? Did we, when we came to possession of the house, we've been told it's been abandoned for a long time and has past owners, but we've never been told of anything negative or out of the ordinary happening there.
Do we need to buy some sage?
It's definitely not haunted.
As you ask that, Follow thinks, says, well, I figured you would hear something when you purchased it, but nothing extraordinary, at least that I've heard. Once again, I do keep to my shop, but I've heard some rumors and such, and there are, of course, always rumors and gossip floating around. You know how people are.
Wait, how do you define extraordinary?
We're about to find out.
I've heard of no, deaths and such in the house, or in the manor, rather. I've heard, different things. Vagrants taking, occupation of it and having to be run off. Some of them have told very odd stories of, things happening within the manor. Of course, just, wish-wash, just hearsay. Nothing of substance, of course, but it's been neglected for quite a while, at least as long as I've been here in Trollskull Alley. So it's nice to know that somebody is wanting to, occupy it more fully and take care of it.
It has so much potential. It's truly going to be so beautiful once we're done with it. How long have you been here in the area?
With that, Fala kind of rubs their chin for a second, thinks, says, well, it's been a few years. And she's thinking, probably about 5, I think, or so, since I opened shop. I had a shop in Neverwinter quite some time ago, but it's... You see Fala kind of thinking for a second, and not to be rude, but Neverwinter is a bit on the relapse at this point. It's being rebuilt and such. I'm sure you've heard all about it, and it's not very accommodating for someone with my skills. I want to grow my plants and help people, and it's very industrial in Neverwinter currently. Waterdeep seemed like much more of a opportunistic place for me to set up shop.
Do you think Lord Neverember is doing a good job in Neverwinter?
With that, Fala thinks, as I cannot speak ill or for him, honestly. Of
course
never
not.
met him, but
That would be very inappropriate. You should never talk poorly on lords. Just thinking if things were going well there, if you like the direction of things there, or you thought maybe there were rooms for improvement.
Neverwinter is being built back up, and it is something that needs to happen after the sundering and the collapse of Neverwinter, unfortunately, when Holtenu erupted, destroyed it completely. But Lord Neverember is on the right track, albeit a bit of a sluggish one, in my opinion. And that may be because of his split interests when he was the Open Lord of Waterdeep here in our own city. But I think that now that he is solely focused on Neverwinter, I expect it will be returned to its former majesty sooner rather than later.
I think there's a few possibilities. We've only been in possession of Trollskull Manor for a few hours now, and I think we definitely want to turn it into a type of business or a place for people to come and relax and enjoy themselves. We've tossed around the idea of a really kind of upscale tavern, a really nice, classy place for people to come and relax and have drink and food. We've also talked about a place where people can rest and have breakfast, and we've also thought of a place that may be a brothel, but a high-class, nice brothel. If we do end up running some sort of hospitality business like this,
you need
is there something...
emphasize the very high class.
Yeah, we're going to be
very high class.
Classy motherfuckers, for sure. Like, the nicest of nice. Like, if there's another brothel somewhere, we're going to make sure that we are 10 times better than that brothel. Like, if you were seen in the other brothel, you would be like, wow, I can't believe you're going to such a crappy place. But anyway, Fala, what I was wondering is, if we do open up some sort of hospitality business like that, is there something that we could do that would be a benefit to your business? Or is there something you'd like to see out of Trollskull Manor? Something that you think this area is lacking, or you think something that would do very well here, or that would be received well by the inhabitants of Waterdeep?
So as you're explaining on, you see Fala kind of watching intently, listening to you and nodding.
Do their eyes glaze over while I'm rambling? Like
a little bit. But as you kept mentioning, the brothel and everything, their eyes opened up a bit and says, well, one thing, and once again, I assure you I mean no offense, but here in Waterdeep, brothels, as you call them, are certainly legal and not necessarily frowned upon. But if you decide to pursue this course of business, do know that they are called fest halls here in Waterdeep.
That sounds so much better. I love it.
Sounds a million times better than a brothel. That is
It
correct.
sounds so festive.
Yeah. Everyone pulls out pens and papers like, oh, okay.
Quickly making notes of everything this person says.
Worried that y'all are focusing on this too much, but apparently
I thought we were going like classy gentlemen's club.
I know.
And we came full circle back to brothel within 3 seconds of this session.
Hey, they can
so
have
I'm
like
thinking,
fancy pasties on.
No, I'm thinking like a cabaret. Like you walk into a cabaret at first, and then there's like a back room that's like extra money.
I was thinking like you walk in and there's just like one person at a desk, and you have to know like the passcode, and then they open up the secret door, and then you're in the tavern.
You mean a
like,
speakeasy then? Got it.
Yeah, basically. But really, so you go in and it's shirt and tie, and there's a dress code. And
Is there a certain drink people order to get in the brothel? So we're like front-faced bar, and then there's like, get me the sparkling gin, and that's like,
you give me
I got what
a martini extra dirty. You're like, yep, come on back.
So as you're talking about this, Follow once again gently corrects you that they're referred to as fest halls, and continues on and says the soft trade here in Waterdeep is one that is respected to a point. It is one that is noted for its necessity, if nothing
they do
else.
a fantastic job here in Waterdeep, let me tell you. Some really great establishments.
You say that,
Trust me, he
Follow
would know.
nods, says, I will have to take your word for it. I, for one, do not partake, but of course I do not judge anyone who does. Whatever what ails you, whether it be something of the body or the soul, by all means, take what take what you can to cure your illness. But what
There's
you talk
really
about,
not a cure for loneliness.
do you happen to have a plant that gives off kind of a salty
I feel
smell as it
attacked.
grows, so I feel more at home?
Wait here. Let me
we'll
hand
get
you
back to you in a
this.
second. 1 second. Let me finish my fucking train of thought. Jesus.
We're trying to buy a plant, maybe
They're rambling.
Wait, hold on.
Rails. They're-
Welcome back, Havoc.
Yeah, fucking yay.
This session's called Torture Havoc.
I'm getting back into the groove. It took me a minute, but we're getting there. But
It's
going
like
back to what you said, Vis. Fala, thanks for a moment, says, well, the idea, and you did mention something that would benefit me as well as other business owners here in Trollskull Alley. We have no taverns here, no inns, no places to enjoy company and wine and such. They're actually very few and far between here in the Castle Ward. The Castle Ward is typically residential area for lords and ladies and the more established folk of this fine city. Businesses are a necessity that are here and there, but it's not very common. I think that a tavern, as you called it, a place to enjoy others' company and have wine and beverage and such, as well as good food, would be welcome here. And as far as benefiting others, the more traffic we bring to our little neighborhood here, of course, more people would see my business. So ultimately, it would benefit me as well.
Just spitballing here. But what if I knocked out part of the first floor and made like an outdoor patio area, and we had like some really cool trees and stuff like that?
That
help us?
would be interesting. I could see what I could do. I am.
Need to go find a sledgehammer shop, please.
I'll just get
Follow.
angry and knock it down for you.
Paula kind of points up, says, "I do not really grow trees for decor and such. More so focusing on plants, flowers, things with."
Yeah, I need plants to be
quality.
around that will constantly heal me. I'm just constantly in. If I could
And
have
mood-altering shrubs?
I may have some of those in stock, young lady.
I
What
may
was
as
your
well.
name?
I'm Talia. I just thought you knew it. Sorry.
The only person that's introduced to Follow is Jot. So yeah, with that, Follow kind of goes around introducing themselves to everyone here, getting all of your names and all that. She mentioned different things that you may be going out to. Follow says, could be arranged and such. Of course, I do not want to hamper you or bother you with any extra needs while you are focusing on the very foremost that must be in your minds, which is, getting Trollskull Manor more presentable to the public. Any kind of business, of course, that you want to run there, if they see it as it is now, it is not very inviting.
Well, we're going around meeting all the neighbors, but if you ever have any jobs you need, that there may be some coin, we are acquiring funds to properly rebuild and refinish the manor in a way that is acceptable and pleasing to the eye. So if you ever have any work or anything like that, please let us know. We'd be glad to help out neighbors and friends.
With that, Follow nods and kind of bows to you all and says, from the look of you, it seems like you would be proficient in being able to acquire maybe some of the rare goods that I seek out from time to time. Right now I'm adequately stocked, but I will keep you in mind if the need arises, which, if my business picks up, then it will.
I can't help but to kind of see the group as the Save the Clock Tower people from Back to the Future. Kind of walk around with the flyer, Save the Clock Tower, Save the Clock Tower.
Rebuild Trollskull Manor.
Rebuild Trollskull Manor.
I can't remember what I called it last time, but I made up like an organization, like we were like a charity thing.
Mhm.
We were like the foundation for something. Like I was gonna try and ask for
Trollskull
donations.
Manor Rehabilitation Foundation.
Was it rehabilitation?
No, it
Yeah,
wasn't. That's
so-
just what
something.
I decided to call it
Renovation.
just
I think
now.
it was renovation, but
Yeah,
Renovation,
like
something
just
like
something like we're taking
Rehabilitation and renovation.
we're taking donations.
yeah, that didn't work out the way you
Yeah, apparently people don't like to just throw away gold to strangers.
It's
We
crazy,
tried.
yeah.
It's fine.
Well, I guess we should go over to
Well, just before we
Cat
go,
Eye Moody's.
The health potions, and you mentioned these little kits for healing. How much would something like that be? Either of those things.
Yep.
I pulled up Healer's Kit if you want to just know what it says.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what Fallah's
gold.
stock is right now.
Okay.
Hold. She just told it. They just told us.
So yeah, as you're talking to Fallah, they say, well, at the moment I have a couple of potions of healing. One of them a bit more powerful. The powerful one I do charge adequate, a fair price for. It's 250 gold pieces. The normal ones that I have more often, 50 gold pieces. And for the healer's kits, generally charge around 5 gold pieces for those. Standard prices, essentially.
Yeah.
I do have something to offer in trade. Are you into trade?
Roll a persuasion check. Bye, CK. Welcome back, CK.
Oh no. We lost CK.
14.
He broke
With
our
that, Fallah
cameras.
kind of thinks for a moment and nods their head a bit. Says, possibly. What is it that you have for trade?
It's a lovely chest. It can hold things in it.
That is.
It came with my explorer's pack.
Oh, I was like, where did you get that?
That is literally the description of what a chest does.
It's 25 pounds and it's the heaviest thing I carry, and I want to pawn it off.
I bet it would make a great planter box and a decoration, like focal piece, as people are coming in to the town. You could set it up outside and people will be like, oh, that's interesting. Let's go inside.
Yeah, and it would be a great way for you to sell these healer kits as a little bit more portable way with this chest. Look at how great this latch functions. It closes and opens and it's not going to fall out in an explorer's bag or anything like that.
And then
I
when
think
they
it'd be a wonderfully fair trade for one healer's kit.
when they ask where you got it, you say, I don't know, some random individuals who stop by here.
No, he says down at Trollskull Manor, you should go and visit them. They're a nice
So
establishment.
we're going to be a speakeasy and we're going to sell chests. Physical wooden chests.
Phrase.
To clarify.
Our plans are in
clarify.
flux, okay?
We are literally selling chests at
Mhm.
Trollskull Manor.
So as you're saying that, Viz, Fallah thinks for a moment and with a bit of a giggle, looks back at you and says, well, I like your spin on that item, and you know what? You are new to the neighborhood, and I want to be cordial and friendly with you, so I will take you up on your offer. I will trade you one of these healer's kits for your chest.
That's amazing. You're so kind. Thank you. I can't wait to just have a great relationship. You and I, we're going to get to know each other. Our businesses are going to prosper like a beautiful plant. It's
Yes,
gonna grow
yes.
and flourish.
I look forward to our ongoing relationship, and you see Fallah already moving over and grabbing the healer's kit and offering it to you.
After
Give
that,
her my chest.
after that, Kai kind of
I give
puts
them
his
chest.
puts his arm around Viz and slowly starts pulling him away and says, sometimes less is more.
I'm gonna heal myself.
Yes.
I'm gonna not be hurt so badly.
You're certainly going to do so
I don't
all
know how
the
to use
time.
this. gonna grab like bandages and salve and be like, "What? How does this work?"
You eat the
Tell him,
salve.
eat it.
I have it. What do I do with it?
You eat it, you ingest it. That's the best way, the fastest route.
No, you didn't.
And
Do
put in
you?
the bandage. Like this is a lot of gauze.
You put the gauze in your mouth and then the bandage is over it.
Oh my.
But
Oh,
that's
dear.
only if I get like a throat wound, right?
Talia,
all
Talia, I'm gonna be honest with you. I would much rather have 5 people than 4 when we move forward.
I'm working on it.
with Thalia going like, wait, that's not. I'm gonna make sure Viz just leaves.
Fella's just like,
He's dead.
no refunds. Please have a nice day.
No.
Enjoy your chest.
Enjoy your chest.
Oh god.
All right, with that, you all set out of
Let's go to Cat Eye Moody's.
Coralon's crown. All right, so you're making your way off to the north, up Thunderstaff. Yeah, Thunderstaff Way. Why not turn this side? Oh well. Up to Saradoon Street, where you once again, you see this building is very unremarkable on the outside. You see this only distinguishing mark that you can find, just this orange and black sign featuring a cat's eyes on it.
Go in.
Yeah, I want to go in.
The door's unlocked, yeah.
Doors
Doors
Does it seem like the
Oh, it's
eyes
locked.
like following us?
Is it a business or is it someone's home? Before we just go in, is it a business?
You can't
Sign.
tell.
I thought that meant that they were...
Jot's like, I'm going down. I was like, wait, is it someone's house?
I would like to knock on the
walking in.
door.
Well, I thought maybe it could be like a
Was it like a sign
crest?
above the door?
Like a
No.
house
It's a
symbol
sign.
or something?
It is a sign up above the door.
Jot
It
would-
looks like a business.
Jot would
Looks like
like
a
to roll.
business.
Jot would like to roll an unarmed strike against the door to kick it open, please.
I'm gonna knock on the door.
Yeah. Oh, that was
All right. So as Jot moves forward, starting to every other business you've been to at this point, up to this point, the door's been open. You can see inside and such. As you're looking around, you see that the windows that there's obviously have shades on the other side. You can't see in. And as you move forward, you find that the door is locked. But Talia moves forward, knocking onto it, and you all hear a bit of a voice coming from there. Says, yes, 1 second. And with that, a few moments pass, and then you see the door opening. And as the door opens, you see a man standing on the other side, very sharply dressed. This black, not quite velvet, it almost looks like cotton and such going across. Basically, he looks like he's wearing a suit. Something you would compare it to in real life. With that, he kind of looks back and forth with you through the group of you and says, "Yes, what is it you need?"
We're just new to the neighborhood and thought this was a business.
It is a business.
Oh.
It's the Tiger's Eye.
Why did you have the door locked?
Yeah.
For people to not bother me.
How do you
But-
make money?
If
Are,
you're in
we
business,
visiting you outside of business hours?
Yeah. Is this not... You're not open? We
it is a
we can
little
come back later, it's
curious.
You said you're new here.
Indeed.
Very well. This business is called the Tiger's Eye. I am its owner, Vincent Trench. I am a private detective. Typically, people who visit this place have business with me. They have work, things they'd like investigated and such. Typically, those seeking that out know to knock beforehand, as I keep my doors shut. Nature of the work and such, I don't want random people that maybe I've investigated before waltzing into my premises.
I
Does it make sense now?
appreciate that so much. My name's Talia. We're moving into Trollskull Manor. Can you tell us something about that? People have said that. Something. I don't know. I don't listen to them. But what's your take on it?
It's a horrid-looking establishment. Please fix it up. Do you have any business for me? Anything you would like proffered, found, anyone you would like tailed, anything of that nature? No?
Are you out on the prowl on someone right now?
You see Vincent kind of looking around. My friend, does it look like I'm on the prowl, as you put it.
Do you think all prowl happens by you actually stalking someone? No, it's a lot of research and know-how. You're private. I feel like you know that.
Oh, so
what's your going?
you too are an investigator.
Of course.
I mean,
Are you?
sometimes
Make a deception check.
with advantage.
It's not a
I'm
deception.
trying to convince.
I'm an investigator. I've made at least 10 investigation checks.
Oh,
Unless I get advantage.
Oh
helping me.
God!
Should I get advantage?
Go ahead and roll for advantage. We'll see how it goes.
Hey.
So as you're saying that, you see Vincent looking, and you see him kind of pulling out this very slim pipe, and you see him lighting it very quick as he's listening to you, trying to explain himself, and he smokes it for a bit and looks at you and says, so you know all the tricks of the trade, then? You know how to properly tell someone?
Oh, absolutely not. Oh, I never claimed to be a good one. I just said I was one.
Well.
That's why I specifically asked you what your rate was.
My rates, 50
He
gold
talks
pieces.
too much to be a private investigator.
50 gold pieces for what kind of information?
Whatever it is you're seeking, of course.
Flat rate, whatever I ask for, 50 gold pieces, no questions asked.
Well, there
that's-
is some interpretation up in the air for it. If you want me to do something dangerous, then of course negotiations will happen. But for normal, mundane work,
What if I wanted to know what Viz did every Tuesday at a specific time?
You don't
50 gold
want.
pieces?
You don't want to know.
I read his journal, nothing important.
That's private.
There's no luck on it.
Does your journal say that is private somewhere in the beginning?
No, I should add that. It's a good point.
There's no
well,
business eyes only or anything.
His name was Trench. Did I hear that right?
I thought it was Vincent.
Vincent.
Oh.
Vincent.
Trench.
Vincent Trench. Okay. Well, Vincent, we are your neighbors. We live just 3 houses down in Trollskull Manor, so we wanted to introduce ourselves. We wanted to have a good relationship with you. We definitely didn't mean to interrupt you, but we wanted to make sure we were on good terms because we are in the process of rebuilding and improving Trollskull Manor. So you may get people who are curious about the cat's eye logo, the tiger's eye logo on your building. And, if business does start growing and our tavern does start doing well for itself, there's going to be a lot of foot traffic at this area, and we just felt like it'd be good to have a relationship with all our neighbors, so you would be more prepared for visitors coming and knocking on your door and trying to enter your business without knowing what it was. Because of course your usual customers do know those things, but the clientele, as they start coming to the ever popular tavern, aren't going to know that. So we didn't mean to come off and you seem very offended and angry at our presence, and we didn't mean to offend you at all, but we just wanted to have a good relationship with all the people around us.
As you're going on and on, you see Vincent calmly watching you and smoking from his pipe as he nods and says, I am not offended. I am busy. Typically, anyone who knocks on my door has business for me. That is why I answered in such a way. Now, if you do ever have anything that needs investigated and such as neighbors, I welcome you to my door. Please knock and I will take care of you. But if you have anything else, or if nothing else for me, then I will get back to my work.
Okay.
So I wish you a good day. And with that, you see him nod to you all in turn and then shut the door. You all hear a heavy lock being turned on the other side of the door.
Did any of that interaction seem suspicious to me at all?
Give me an insight check.
And what could we see from where we were standing outside the door?
Give me a perception check.
Perception? Okay.
Talia really likes him.
Damn it, Steve.
Of course she does.
All right, so, Jot, as you were listening to him, you didn't really get anything suspicious and such from him. He just seemed to be very business-oriented. If anything, he seemed kind of annoyed with the fact that you just kind of knocked on his door and had no business for him. He was kind of like, why are you wasting my time? It's nice that you're in the neighborhood. Cool. I have work to do. Leave me alone. Kai, as you were kind of glancing around past Vincent, you didn't see anything really, spectacular and such. Looking into it, you saw that it appeared to be a dimly lit, kind of regally decorated apartment back behind him. Couldn't make out a lot of the details because there were only like oil lamps on the inside, casting off a little bit of light, but not a ton. But nothing really stood out and such. It seemed there was a sitting area back behind him, and you saw a large desk. You assume is probably where he sits to do his work and such.
Okay. Nothing like really out of place. Like, why would that be in this room?
No
Okay.
dragons or odd statues or anything like that.
Dragons.
It was just
Gotcha.
a regal. Well, he seems to be doing well. You could infer that from seeing that the furniture seemed to be pretty nice and such, but only saw kind of that main room back behind him.
Gotcha. Okay.
I want to find another private eye, and I want to make them tail each other. So we're gonna need at least 100 gold pieces for this guy. Probably. I'm assuming, because we're in the nice district, I'm assuming he's the nicer, like more high-end private eye. So we need to find like the mid-tier one and just have them tail each other.
I'll keep an eye on him.
I just assumed he was a tabaxi because of the cat jokes, and then I just kept on going down cat puns, and I was like, he needs to choke on a hairball. I was like, shit, he's here.
Yeah, you kept going on. Just to make that very clear, it was a human male.
But he's a furry.
Wow. Alrighty then.
He should really hire a receptionist.
Jot, we do not kink shame in this party.
What was it?
You don't.
You don't know my life.
You don't know my closet.
All right,
he should really
All right.
hire a receptionist, because then that person could deal with just like, it's kind of silly to be like, I'm a business, but my door's locked, and if you come by and you don't already just know what the sign that's super vague is, I get mad at you. You should hire a receptionist.
Steve, myself, I get mad at anyone that knocks on my door that isn't selling Girl Scout cookies. So, I kind of get it. Like, what do you want? You better have fiber internet or Girl Scout cookies, and you're forgiven. Otherwise, go away. Like,
Leave me alone.
those are the only two things that I will forgive you.
You can order Girl Scout cookies online now during the time. So
No, I
They
can't.
shouldn't even knock on my door.
But if they're bringing them to my doorstep, and I'm like, I don't even have to wait for shipping, like, great.
Done.
Okay,
Get your little wagon, bring it over. I need mint chocolate right now. Thank
I would like all of the Thin Mints you have.
you.
All right, so we've met all of our neighbors. Is that right? Havoc?
Mhm. Yep.
So, what time of the day is it?
At this point, it is moving into early evening. It's past lunchtime and such. The sun is starting to move to the other side of the sky at this point. Not quite evening time, not dinner time, but it is starting to progress through the day.
Like high noon-ish?
A little bit past that.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I think I could use a drink and some food. I just want to go down to the.
Could use some work.
Agreed.
Love to keep busy.
Maybe we should go check out the yawning portal and see if there's any food to be had and maybe any jobs going around.
There certainly must be something there.
Let me see how Bonnie is. She's nice.
That's true.
I'm gonna make
She's
my
a
hair
shitty
red.
waitress.
I'm gonna make my hair bright red.
Given the circumstance, though.
Trolls. Or wait, sorry, what came out of the hole? Was it a troll?
It was
It
some
was a
trolls
troll.
and then some,
It
like,
was a troll.
Yeah, troll came out of the
were like
yawning
vampire
portal.
bats. They had a
and-
name that I
and-
Yeah,
really
there
can't
were
remember.
vampire-ish.
They
bats.
were Sturges.
Sturges. I don't know why I can never remember that. I'm always just vampire bad things.
I don't care what came out of that portal. It's there. She should
Hole. It
know.
was about-
And she should do a better job.
Man, I can't wait till we don't have to go to the yawning portal and we can just go to our tavern. Can't wait to drink our own product.
we should make a lot of notes while we're there of the
Recipes.
decor and recipes.
Don't hire Bonnie.
No, Durnan will kill us.
We don't tell. We're not gonna.
He dispelled Talia's magical fog cloud with one swipe of his sword. I did not want to upset him.
I'm not saying that we like copy it, just to like for like inspiration.
Sure.
What, not what to do?
We should go talk to Durnan about us opening up a tavern and see what he feels about it.
I really think we should get this
really
permission.
different area of this
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I would like his blessing before I even consider opening up a tavern within a 10,000-mile radius.
Brothel.
Tavern.
We are competing for very, very different reasons here. While we might offer alcohol, that is not the cream of the crop, as they say.
It's just to loosen them up.
Yeah, but maybe he could like give us some
We
insight.
are just
like,
done with
No,
puns.
that is certainly to open the coin purse. That's all that's for.
to the yawning portal.
Having actually before we head there, would I, having lived here a while, have any idea where, like, if there is like a typical place for like job postings of like, hey,
I feel like Jot wants to open up a staffing agency. She's like, he should hire a receptionist. Where can I find jobs exactly?
we can have one room for the staffing agent.
It's just
You see
Jot.
her
She's
desk.
got a stack of papers as tall as she is. She's like, I have so many jobs for you. She's like working through the temp workers, employees.
Yeah, it's great. No, I
Talia would put so many fake like job postings in there just to see you try and struggle to find someone.
I have to
feel
go
like
kill a
Talia's
cow
the
for
one
me.
who would be like unpaid internship to be my like assistant.
Come learn about me.
Yeah.
I have no idea what your specialty is, but this is perfect for you.
I know
I'll give
nothing
you
about the
college
situation,
credit for
but-
like coming and doing my laundry and cleaning my house and picking up
Brushing my hair.
Shit, that's
Braiding-
all I had to do. Why did I
Braiding
go to
seaweed
college?
into it.
So, Jod, as you're thinking about it, you don't know of any like job boards and such. You know that it is, adventurers do flock to Waterdeep, but generally they find jobs through more personable means, or personal means, I guess. Typically, hang out at taverns, things of that nature. You'll find people looking for work in places like that. Not really an organized way of getting jobs there.
Okay, in that case, then yeah, I think yawning portal's our best option. Unless we just want to stop being adventurers and just go back to our previous day jobs.
I didn't have a previous day job. I was buskering on street corners, telling stories and having a hat out.
But I mean, did you make money doing that?
Not much.
You make something.
That's why
maybe
he's an
counts as a
adventurer.
job.
I'm pretty sure he gave people money to listen to him.
I mean, you have heard his stories, correct?
I really
I don't
like
really
the stories.
listen
Good
anymore.
Stories? I mean, the one he was telling when we met was great. I thought it was
I
really
don't
good.
remember.
I love his stories. So
Thanks, guys.
All right.
I
so
like
the plan...
the other visits.
Yeah, we're heading for the
We're
audience.
gonna go to the
Okay.
Iron Portal.
Yep.
If
If we're
going
lucky,
to the Iron
Jalster will be there, because I want to hit up Jalster about some jobs.
I want to talk to Yagra.
Okay. Alrighty. So
I would also totally talk to the person that I know, whose name I definitely remember right now.
That
CK
one
CK's
person
is
that I have
Jalster
on my
with me.
notes.
I like
I'm-
Yagra.
Someone. It was. I think I wrote it down. Don't
where's
see it.
yours?
Did someone pick the three-finger bard as a person to know, just for lulz?
I did not. I
Three
kinda- that would've
strings
been great
or three
though.
fingers? Maybe he had three strings and not three fingers.
Definitely three strings.
strings.
Okay.
Three fingers.
I mean,
There's a reason
fingers
he was
is
bad at what he
entertaining.
did.
Maybe
It
he
was
played the
bad.
trumpet.
It was
Three
passable
buttons
music,
on
okay?
it.
It wasn't bad. It was passable.
Literally.
As a bard, though, my ears
It's-
were offended.
it's certainly what people
All of
who,
the musical instruments that you have played in the campaign.
It's certainly what people with no musical background might call as passable.
Pull out my organ real quick. I'll show him up.
Pull out your organ. Which organ?
I feel like an accordion and it's
I was like, shit,
appropriate.
what's the thing Weird Al plays?
The accordion.
Accordion.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what it was called. I was like, what's that monstrosity? That's what I want to be proficient in.
I literally just
you're that
said,
bard
and
Yes, I
then
know.
just pulls
Yes,
out
And I
an
said
Accordion.
thank
accordion.
you. I couldn't remember what that was called.
All right. So as you're all making your way, as you can see from the map that I hopefully moved you to, I did. Cool. Back on the map of Waterdeep here. You are up here in the North Ward, the very fancy-looking place. I think I might have called it the Castle Ward before, and I was mistaken. But so
Wait,
you're gonna have to make
Castle Ward and somewhere else?
Wait, so we
oh.
time traveled and moved somewhere else? Okay.
Can you
It's
not
fine,
see that?
Havoc.
Oh,
No,
the
we
Castle
can
Ward
see-
is down south. I see it.
We
Okay,
see
y'all
that
can
we're
see
right
that.
here over in this area.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. Y'all are at Trollskull Alley right now.
Yep.
Y'all can't see the ward signs. I was making sure those weren't on the GM layer. So yeah, you'll have to make your way down south to the southern part of the castle ward where you know the Yawning Portal resides.
That's a really long way to walk.
It takes you a little bit of time. Like I said, it's well past noon at this point.
Whoa!
So as you're all walking, making your way down to the high road.
What's wrong,
Uh,
Jop?
Yeah, you made it a little ways. Not quite there yet, though.
Someone just talked in my head.
What?
I'm in your head, Jot. I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't you. It was female voice.
Did you eat
Okay.
or drink something funny?
No, like I mean, it was like the thing that
Are-
that Kai can do, where he like talks, but you hear it inside your head.
Do you need
That's
some rest?
literally
No,
what I
not
can
crazy,
do. though.
Okay.
What did it say?
Fine. It was Vadra's. Oh God, Havoc, seriously,
Safar.
Vadra,
So
Cast
far.
mage armor myself.
Safar. That's the one that's like the black staff.
What?
And
What?
she said to come.
What is the
to
black staff?
That's the like the head magic person. They're like the in
Wait.
charge. They're in charge of the magic guild, right?
Would I have?
Wait, is that different than the not magistrates? What are they called? The
The black staff
The
is
mages?
like it's almost like
Well,
one
no,
of the
there's, like-
lords type title,
well,
right?
there's like the dudes that go around and like make sure you register for the city.
Mhm.
I can't remember what they're called. Are they black cloaks or magistrates? or something?
Magistrates. Yes.
Magistrates.
As you all entered the city for the first time, just to give you kind of a backstory of Waterdeep, as you all entered into Waterdeep proper, you noticed there were lines and such, so you had to wait. And as you move forward, you saw the reason for those as magistrates were at the city gates, briefly interviewing everyone who entered the city, wanting to know their business and such, whether or not they'd be staying for more than a day or a fortnight or a 10-day rather. All of you wanting to either take up residence or find work and such here were questioned a little bit more intently. They wanted to know things like, do you know how to cast magic? Do you know the weave intimately enough to use it offensively or defensively? And if you answered yes to this, you were told that you needed to register with the Order of Magus and something.
Oh fuck, I have it written down. Somewhere. I thought I did.
There's
Protector,
only 5 billion different guilds, and I can't remember.
Magus,
I
and
didn't write it
Protector.
down.
Mhm.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can I have a havoc buck for that?
Sure. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, you
I've got two now.
can. We'll remember that. All of you should have 2, so you have 3 actually. Start of the session, you get another one.
What?
Yeah. Start of every session, you get 1 havoc buck.
What? Wait, I forgot what a havoc puck does.
Nothing right now.
We
Nothing
haven't
at all.
decided.
We haven't decided what the havoc puck
And it's
does.
a work in progress. You have them though; they're very shiny. So yes, you were all inquired about that. Some of you answered truthfully that you could cast magic, and you were registered with that. Basically told that in the event of an attack on Waterdeep, or if an incident within the city required somebody with your particular set of skills, you would be employed and basically told to come help with it, and you were expected to do so.
Is that related to the black staffs?
It is not technically related to it. You know that the Black Staff, and this is very general knowledge, the Black Staff is basically the Archmage of Waterdeep.
That's the word I was looking for by head magic person.
Yeah.
The Archmage, yeah.
Yeah, the Archmage of it. You all know that the current Black Staff, there have been several throughout the long centuries. You know, people, Archmages especially, typically live for a long time due to magic. But you know that the current one is one Vadra Safar, who presides over the tower, and she also leads an organization called Force Grey.
So, Jot, you heard a message from this person, or a message saying to go talk to the blacksmith?
From her.
Jot
And what did she say?
Friends Jot very well may not be the only person that's heard this voice.
Oh. Did you hear it too?
It's a little unsettling, but yes, I heard the same voice.
See, I'm not crazy. You guys think I'm crazy.
Jot's not
Whoa,
crazy this time.
we never said you were crazy. You just
This
said,
time.
"Whoa,
No,
hey
this
guys," and we're like, "What?"
Simply this time. I mean, we can't excuse anything previous, but this time she is not crazy. I can assure you that I heard.
What
the
did
same
she
voice.
say?
She said, she said, come to Blackstaff Tower in the Castle Ward with my friends. Which I probably is what you guys, I guess.
Okay. All right, Kai. Sorry. I was like, what did she say? And you're like, okay, Jot's just a little crazy. You can't. Yeah, the anticipation was too much. Couldn't
She
handle.
said, like, come right now.
I mean,
Snicker.
she did. Yes, at once is the exact phrasing, but yes.
So we
Well, let's
should
go.
go to the
Definitely.
Yes, we should
Archmage
certainly...
is like the person in charge of like magic shit.
But Durnan, pretty badass.
Yeah,
But she could probably just like kill us if we don't do it.
Yeah, if she's
So-
getting in your guys' head.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean,
Actually, on page 13, it says that's illegal. You can't do that.
oh, does it? Oh,
No.
that's good to know. I still think we should go.
Okay,
I'm
I
gonna
agree.
go.
Well, I mean, we're gonna go with you.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Let's go.
Do I know where the Blackstaff Tower is?
Yeah.
Is it a big black tower?
I'm
like,
hoping,
sticking
yeah,
in the
it's
middle
just
of
like
nowhere?
obvious to see where it is. So I don't think I've spent a lot of time in the castle ward. Could I have responded to that message? Had I tried?
I mean, you're not sure. Kind of
Okay.
freaked out a
I
little
didn't
bit.
You
Yeah.
responded with, "Oh my god! Oh my god, guys!"
It's on Sword Street, which I'm
Oh,
having
right-
trouble
Most
locating.
of
Right
them-
next
there
to
it is.
turn back court.
Oh yeah, I see it.
I found
So
Sword
like
Street.
the
Okay.
so like the southeast part.
Ooh, right next to Fetlock
Turn back
Court
It's
and
Word-
the
That's actually a
Seven
thing.
Lamps Cut. We're definitely not going to get stabbed here.
right in the middle of you don't want to be here ward.
There it is. Okay, we're good now.
Right next to it's right next to Wrong Turn Lane.
The castle ward is safe.
Go
It's not
back
a
to where
scary
you
area.
came from, court.
Came from.
Okay,
Uh,
I'm gonna start making my way, probably I guess down the high road and
Making
just
my way downtown,
making our way downtown.
moving fast.
Yeah.
All right.
I love Terry Crews in that movie.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
And I need you.
Still miss you, or whatever it is.
Now I won. Okay, so as you all moving on, at Jot's behest, who got this seemingly somewhat alarming message from the Blackstaff of Waterdeep, requiring your presence at Blackstaff Tower. You start making your way south and then west. You pass by the market here in the Castle Ward, this very large open air area, surrounded by stalls and such all around it. You see lots of, smiths and food carts, things of that nature all across the market. But you make your way along Trader's Way, heading down. You pass through a couple of other notable buildings. One is the Halls of Justice, which you've heard a little bit about, but we'll touch on that later. And also the Font of Knowledge, another place you've heard a little bit about, but once again, we'll touch on later. More so just kind of opening the map for you a little bit. As you explore places, you'll discover what they are. But with that, you make your way around to the place called Blackstaff Tower. Yeah, y'all don't know a ton about Blackstaff Tower, so the history of it is a bit lost on you. But you do know that this is a place sometimes used for learning by those that are able to use the Weave of Magic. They go there to seek apprenticeship from the more learned people in Waterdeep, the more learned mages and sorceresses and sorcerers and such.
I mean, I think that's possible that I might.
Yeah, you would know at least a little bit about that. As you move up to it, you see that the tower itself is made of this very smooth-looking black stone, and as you look across it, you see no entrances, no windows, nothing on it. It's just this large tower reaching up into the sky. You know that as you were kind of walking up and down in your previous adventures and moving around the city of Waterdeep, you could see this tower from fairly far away. It's a very noticeable structure here. But as you move up closer, you see people kind of milling around here and there. You do see kind of off in these yards off to the side, some people practicing very basic magic and such, some younger, some a bit older and such, obviously learning from instructors. And as you move closer, the group of you kind of walking up, looking a bit, not lost per se, but not entirely sure how to get into this tower with no door or anything onto it. And as you move forward, you see a man, a bit younger, probably early 20s or so. You see on his face he's donned spectacles, kind of the half-glass ones, or half-moon rather. And as you're all moving forward, you see him holding a scribe's book in front of him, and he seems to be kind of scanning the crowd in front of him, and then he catches sight of you all. And with that, you see him raising a finger. He says, yes, come this way, please.
Okay, why are we here? What's going on?
Questions later. Come on. She wants to see you now.
Yes.
Is there any sort of signifying mark or anything am I being kidnapped?
Not unsettling at all.
Like a symbol.
We're just gonna stand a little close to the draught. A little bit in front of him. A little bit, just a little bit closer.
The Jot or Viz?
Viz.
Viz, okay.
Does the person have a black staff, maybe?
Oh, no, there's only one. There's only
ask
one.
that.
Yeah, so maybe they carry one as a symbol of the order.
No, you're not supposed to ask that here.
But what if they're gonna stab us? I've been stabbed so many times.
That's profiling.
You've got your regular skin.
Yeah, that's gonna fix it after. But if I could not be stabbed, I'm just nervous. That's all.
Oh, and so I guess as we're seeing all of this training and stuff, Jot's looking at all of this and just sort of looks
wistfully.
Yeah, wistfully is a good description of that.
Okay. So as you're all moving forward, you don't see anything really recognizable, anything that steps out, no sigils or anything like that. You just see this, very, skinny looking, bookwormish kind of looking man, motioning towards you, saying, come, let's go. And he's walking directly towards the tower, motioning for you to follow him.
I'm following.
This is going to start following him.
Yeah. I will out loud say, I really hope we're supposed to be here and we're not being kidnapped.
But I'm still
I want to be the very last one, going wherever we're going.
I heard a voice in my head, and that was a little unnerving. Do you know why we're here? What's going on? What's your name?
So as you're... Oh shit, what's his name?
Are we in trouble?
Albus.
What's going on?
Random NPC list.
I'm
Go.
sorry, I stole the paper bird. I'm so sorry.
So as you're asking these questions, the man, once again, not even really turning around and looking at you, still motioning, he says, come, your questions will be answered. Obviously, you've been spoken to by the Blackstaff. She requires your presence. I am taking you to, not necessarily see her, but at least speak to her. Come.
But what's your name?
My name is, Rilatar.
Like
a realtor.
Never mind. No.
Minotaur? Just kidding.
Realtor the Minotaur.
Rilatar the Minotaur. No, this man is a half-elf from what you're able to see. With that, Rilatar kind of motions. He says, come. It's, needless questions. I have other things to do. Come. She will speak to you shortly. And with that, he leads you forward, kind of at a brisk pace as you get closer to the tower. You see him walking up in front of it as he kind of turns around and waits for you. And as you all get closer, you see him turning back towards the door. And as he does so, he starts to step forward. And as he takes one step forward, you see a door appears on the side of the tower. Out of nothing, there's now a wooden door in front of you. And with that, he moves forward. The door is open, and he motions for you to follow him.
Was the door always there
I'm-
and hidden by illusion, or
I'm
did you make the door there?
I'm certain that's not of consequence.
The door opens when it needs to. Do you know nothing of magic?
I'm
Not
very
really,
I'm
no.
very new to it.
He's
This is all
pretty
new to me. We don't have this where I come from.
Well, that's a shame, really. Now come. Let me just go
Doors are
inside.
magic.
Yes.
Both?
I mean, didn't you summon a fog of cloud? Isn't that magic?
No.
Okay.
It was just a really big fart.
I'm controlling the water, you motherfucker. It's not magic, it's part of me.
You took shit, what's the word when you, the heat makes, you evaporated all the water out of all the beer in the tavern and, made a fog of cloud from all the drinks?
I don't
Fog
feel
of
like
cloud
sharing
of
my
fog.
ways with you.
I mean,
That's fair.
did
I'm gonna
you
go
finish?
through the magic door, by the way.
Viz, did you finish your drink afterwards, though?
I don't think so.
It's unfortunate. So as you all follow through the door,
I touch the wall. Or I go to touch the wall.
You want to make sure it exists?
Yeah.
as you do so, you feel cold stone beyond your fingers, though it is very smooth. It almost feels like glass to you, but you can clearly see it looks like stone at least.
I touch
So
the
you
wood
make
door too.
definitely a door that
Does it
exists.
feel like it's made out of wood?
It does feel like wood. You get a splinter in your finger. It hurts.
What a poorly made door. You just touched it and got a splinter?
Well, but
We're getting a lot of splinters this campaign.
no, stop.
Does that count as stabbing?
No piercing
Okay.
damage. Was
Is
taken.
that one?
I have a
point of
healer's
piercing
kit.
damage?
So as you make your way in, you see that the room is not lit at all. Almost, you see a couple of lanterns up. They're not really giving much light in this black tower. It's very dark inside. But as you move in, you start to see your eyes are very quickly becoming accommodated to it. And you're able to see around. This large room. And as you're looking around, it doesn't look like you're inside the tower anymore. It almost looks like you're in a. You look around again. Now you're in a study. You look around, and the room is now brightly lit. You see chairs, couches set up. A large desk is sitting up in front. And with that, Rilatar moves around it and sits down behind it. He says, come, move inside. I believe, yes, you, Jot, was it, I think? You were the one she contacted, yes?
I think yes.
Yes? Okay, good. And with that, he turns around. You see him sitting down at the desk now, motioning through some papers. Have a seat. Yes, it was somewhere here. And with that, he starts shuffling through some more paperwork. He says, yes. Vajra has heard about you. I believe you made an acquaintance of one Lord Raynar Neverimber. He spoke very highly of you, it says. Did some work for you, and he spoke as you were very upstanding citizens and ones with prowess in combat and such. So, the Blackstaff has, in her infinite wisdom, invited you for some jobs and such, things to help out around here, and possibly for a few of you. And you see Rilatar kind of looking around, and he starts to look directly at those of you able to cast spells. All of you. So, Viz.
Everyone
Jot.
except for Misk.
Glancing a little bit at Talia, but not
How does
much.
she know I can cast magic?
But with that, Rilatar nods, says, well, some opportunities may arise if you were to help us with some things that need doing around the city of Waterdeep. I don't know if you know much about the Grey Hands, Force Grey, whatever it is they call us nowadays. But we are defenders of Waterdeep, much like the City Watch or the City Guard, albeit a bit more specialized in our practices and the jobs that we take. We have some problems, and we would like you to take a look at them, if you are so inclined.
So Force Grey is like the City Watch, but with magic?
As you ask that, he says, not per se.
Yeah.
And with that, he kind of
Yes.
leans back and thinks for a
Special
moment.
ops.
You see him
You're like a
pushing up
SWAT
his
team with
glances.
magic.
He says, members of Force Grey, and you are not members, and even after taking some jobs, you will still not be members. It takes years of dedication and practice to become a Greyhound. But That being said, members are allowed to do as they please, continue with their studies, go out and explore the world and such. But if and when you are called upon, you are expected to do your duty. It's much more lax than, say, the City Guard or the City Watch. But that being said, your freedom does come at a cost. Things that you are sent to do are very specific and sometimes dangerous, but, you wouldn't have been called here if you couldn't handle it, yes?
What do you want us to do?
With that, he says, right to the point then. He pulls out another sheet of paper. He says, yes, we have an informant. Guess in front of me. One second. I have 3 sources that I have to reference this. Force Grey.
Oh, so is this in character then? CK.
Biz is going to turn his hands gray. Just because he said it takes years. He's like, no, I can do it right now. So I'm going to kind of lean over and talk to Jot and be like, so I get my magic from Denier, like that my god, and so it's crazy that they know that I can cast magic because I don't know how the weave works. That's really neat.
Well, didn't you cast some magic in front of Raynar?
Oh yeah, I cast magic all the time, but I thought it was only like weave magic and stuff. That's really neat.
Yeah, well, I mean, he just probably mentioned that you cast magic, and so that
had it on me. Now I'm signed up for the draft.
Yes, here it is, and with that, clears his throat, says, if you have a moment. You see, you've seen Mount Waterdeep, I assume, yes?
Mount Waterdeep?
Sure, I don't know
Yes.
if I've seen it or not.
Is there a mountain in Waterdeep?
There is literally a mountain on the west side of Waterdeep.
Definitely seen it then, yes.
Yes, there is a single cave in the southern side of it. Inside this cave lies an old monk named Hlam. What the Blackstaff requires of you is to go ask him what he knows about threats to the city, and then report back here. It's very simple.
If it's so simple, then why haven't you sent any of your
We'll
men
take
to
it.
do so?
Oh.
No,
I mean, they cast a spell and talk to Jot in her head.
Kai looks over at Viz and says, "No, it's fine. I promise. We'll take it."
That's not what I
Kind
said.
of questioningly.
As you ask that, it says, we have many pressing matters. This one is a bit more... well, it's a bit less, I suppose. Less time-sensitive, less pressing. And the Blackstaff heard of you and figured this would be an adequate introduction to yourselves, to us and our organization. Something to see if you're capable, or something for us to see if you're capable of carrying out.
Excuse me, Sir Relatar. We currently have a couple other jobs lined up, which were going to result in coin for us. You know of our current predicament and our home situation with Trollskull Manor. We're desperately in need of coin right now so that we can rebuild that manor into a proper piece of Waterdeep architecture. Will there be any sort of payment for this job?
For this job? No. None whatsoever. But do this, and maybe down the line, there will be coin for you.
Okay, I'm okay if we don't do this job, guys. Like, we can go do some of the other jobs.
I mean,
I wanna
maybe.
do it. I want to do it.
Yeah, I understand, but maybe isn't a certainty, and we need things that are going to be certain for our goals.
We should definitely take this.
But
I want to do it.
I mean, I also want to do it, but we really need money. I am so poor. Like, after I pay my taxes for the year, I have, like, no money.
Just don't pay your taxes.
I'm
problem
absolutely
solved.
going to pay my taxes, for sure.
Kai's
100%.
It is a good idea to pay your taxes.
Kai's gonna take a deep breath and kind of lean his head back and say, "We'll take the job. What does it entail?"
I'm gonna
excellent.
lean into Fizz real fast and be like, just to let you know, I don't think you ever have to pay taxes because they can do that thing where you're like, "Urgh," and you change your appearance and you can just say, oh, I'm not him, I'm him, I'm new to town, and you could just evade taxes. I believe in you.
But I really like my personas. I really like my people, and like I'd want to go back to them. And then if I went to it and I forgot that I hadn't paid taxes, and then they arrest me, I'd be really sad.
Just rotate, 'cause you're not living here as that person. Just rotate as you answer the door. No one will ever know. It will be our secret.
If you don't mind, the job is very simple. Go visit Flam, seek his wisdom. You see kind of a weary look crossing Rilatar's face. He says he is a very interesting individual, I suppose. Seek his wisdom. Mount Waterdeep, as I'm sure you know, is very large. There are very numerous spectacles atop it and numerous ways to climb it, pathways and such. Halam prefers to be off the beaten path. It's a bit difficult to get up to him, but I'm sure you will have no issue there. But he is on the southern side. His cave is there. Seek him out. Seek his wisdom. Any dangers or threats that may be coming to Waterdeep, he may know about. We want that information. Bring it back to us.
Bring it back to you here.
Yes.
How will we open the door, or make the door appear?
We will know when you are approaching. I assure you.
Should we knock?
You can.
I'm
It would
like
be quite amusing for you to do so. Please.
Kai's literally trying to like kind of goad Viz to keep going with this questioning.
But I mean, if you don't know, should we just like start like knocking on the stone around the base of the tower? Like, I don't know where the study fits into this tower, but we went down that corridor and it was dark, and then there was light. So just like a map or like the code word or something would be great to know.
Is there maybe like a knocking stone that we're supposed to hit?
Oh, that's a great idea. Like certain stones we have to knock on in a specific order.
You should try those things.
Which stones in particular? I'll pull out his notebook and start like getting ready to write down.
All of
Can
them.
you show him the specific one that needs to be knocked on?
Oh no!
When you approach the tower next time, you need to knock on the first stone to the left, the third stone on the right, and the second one from the bottom.
I really wish that was 1, 2, 3. That would have made me so happy.
No one else knows my code. 1, 2,
2, 3.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Rilatar. We will do this job for you. We will talk to Halam, and we will find the information and all of his ancient wisdom. My Hebrew's rusty. I'm sorry. Halam. Just
Halam, he is a monk, a very old man, and very interesting. Do have the best of luck in your adventure here. Please stop by when you have the information. If you have any questions for me? No? Excellent. Bye. And with that, he stands up and he motions behind you, where you all see a wooden door is leading from this study.
I'm going to knock on it.
In that
as you-
specific order.
As you,
No,
as
he
you
did.
walk up to the
I'm
door,
not knocking the door. Well, I'm going to go look at the stones over out on the outside to find.
as you
the
move up to
first
the
one.
door and get ready to knock on it, the door swings open and you see the outside of the tower before you.
Nice. Nice.
Do have a good day.
Does he seem what is his general attitude towards us? I'm getting a vibe from you. I just want to
You're
see.
getting
if
a
that's-
very sarcastic asshole vibe. He seems very preoccupied with other things, and it almost seems like what he's doing right now is a bit beneath him. But he's taking care of it because obviously the Black Staff ordered it.
But he doesn't seem like he's like trying to trick us or anything like that. He's just like, this is a waste of my time. These people seem like idiots.
Give me an
I
insight check.
don't know why I'm bothering. Okay.
He's doing his job. It may
Yeah, I
not
don't
be
read
to the
anything.
best of his abilities,
No.
but he's doing his job.
He doesn't seem like he's lying to you or anything. He seems to have gone through and read from, when he was explaining the job, explaining Hlam and such, and the wisdom, he was quoting from this parchment that he had. Clearly, or you assume from the Blackstaff by the way he talked and such. But you don't think he's lying to you or anything like that. He's not joshing you or leading you on. He seems to have a job and everything. Like I said, he just seems a bit annoyed, a bit frustrated that he's having to take care of this.
Okay.
Where is Mount Waterdeep on the map?
Mount Waterdeep is right there. See this big open green spot here?
Oh, yes. Now you've added the text to it.
Yes.
And are we going to the peak top area? No, we're going to a cave.
It was on the south side? Yes.
Cave is on the south side.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Is
Let's do it.
that still within the city walls? Mount
Mhm.
Waterdeep? Okay.
I assume like this area here is like the walls, right?
Yeah, the wall's basically the way Mount Waterdeep is. And everybody give me history checks. We'll see if y'all know anything about Mount Waterdeep. And I'll kind of reveal a few like major landmarks here that y'all should know about. Yeah, let's do those for right now. So yeah, all of you are pretty familiar with Mount Waterdeep, at least in a bare sense. You know, it's not something you've researched endlessly. You know that Mount Waterdeep existed, you know, obviously long before Waterdeep did. It's a place that originally was settled by dwarves who mined within the mountain itself. And the city eventually kind of grew up in settlements and such that were kind of around the mountain. And long ago, an ancient elvish city actually was the original Waterdeep, though it was not called that. But what it was called back then, you're not too sure. Since then, you know that the mountain itself has been long since cleared. Nothing of value resides inside the ancient dwarven tunnels and such inside of it. You know that on top of it, the peak top area is actually the home base of the Griffin Cavalry that protects the skies of Waterdeep. And that is far way up on its summit. You know, the Griffin Cavalry, if anyone tries to approach from the air, whether it be from spell casting or atop some kind of beast and everything, are long before they get anywhere near the walls, they are confronted by this elite set of troops riding griffins underneath them.
Is that probably from the peak top area?
Yes, that is their home base.
That's sick.
That's really cool.
The Griffin Cavalry is badass. Yeah, just expect because I think they're cool. I want to talk about them.
That's awesome.
You know that the Griffin Cavalry, they are members of the city guard, are enlisted into the Griffin Cavalry, but they go through special training to be able to ride these griffins. And they even have special magical implements that they carry on their person that casts Featherfall in the event that they were to fall off, either on purpose or on accident in combat. The griffins and the soldiers are trained specifically to be able to dismount the griffins midair during combat, attack while falling through the air, cast Featherfall, and the griffin will recapture them before they hit the ground, thus making them a very formidable force patrolling the skies above Waterdeep. But you know, like I said, this mountain, pretty large, covers up, you know, this kind of southwestern point, encompassing kind of the dock ward as well as the castle ward. You know that the Palace of Waterdeep as well as Castle Waterdeep are built kind of into the base of it, of the mountain itself. Very notable structures, you know, the palace being the place where a lot of the open lord and such reside inside, and Castle Waterdeep being in a kind of an ancient fortress, not really used for politics and such any longer. That's all been kind of moved over to the palace. But anyway, with that, you're all setting off down towards the southern side of it.
Yep.
Okay.
Where is the palace? Just as a side note.
Palace you should see now is right here.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
You should have
Okay.
an arrow.
Got it. Palace of
arrow?
Waterdeep.
It's
There's no arrow there.
Aha.
Yeah,
Arrows.
there we go.
Ah,
There we go.
so the palace is where the open lord is at, right?
If my own history check passed.
Castle Waterdeep is
Yeah.
where stuff used to be. That's old school. Now we've moved on to the palace.
Yeah.
Yes, if I
Yes.
remember
The
correctly,
new
that's what it
office.
was.
Got it.
It was that or the other way around. One of the two. One of them's kind of the old thing that was used. I think
Castle Waterdeep looks bigger.
Yeah, Castle
I assume
Waterdeep
with
was
age,
basically.
we get more gaudy.
Well, not necessarily that. It's just that like
Just a
Waterdeep was
rundown.
built as an actual castle way back centuries ago, and obviously with the city of Waterdeep expanding out as it did so, its own walls coming up, especially after the troll wars and such like that. A more regal palace was built, one not requiring the services of a castle and a keep. So all the meetings with the open lord and such were moved. So with that, you all start making your way down towards the dock ward, kind of wrapping around Mount Waterdeep, now taking kind of a special interest in it at this point. We're able to see not a lot of detail. I mean, it's a mountain. You do see structures up atop it. You assume to be peak top area. You do see... something we haven't touched on. Something that Viz will want to take note of.
Ooh.
Let me make sure I've got my notes for it.
A giant book. A giant liar.
You know, general knowledge that all of you know, there are one of the wonders of Waterdeep, and something you actually read in the Waterdeep in Sheridan, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, written by Volo, a friend of yours, mentioned the walking statues of Waterdeep, these great colossal constructs, initially and assumingly built to be a protection of Waterdeep. Unfortunately, during an event called the Second Sundering, several of these large constructs, and when I say large, I mean they are as big as a palace, 100 feet high, gigantic statues, animated, and unfortunately began wreaking havoc throughout the city. It is said that some people did things that caused them to stop, but others will tell you that they did that on their own accord and stopped at their own resting place. One of these, called the Griffin, exists up on the top of Mount Waterdeep, and you're able to see it. And the reason it's called the Griffin is because it resembles one, and it is up atop the peak of Mount Waterdeep itself.
So not all of the colossals are humanoid, right?
No.
Okay, so do I know of any other ones that aren't humanoid? Because I thought most of them were humanoid. So this is cool. So there's one on top of Mount Waterdeep that's a 100-foot tall griffin. Are there any others that I know about?
There is the ones. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
So there are
everybody. For some reason, it wanted to drop roll 20.
8 of them within the city. These 8 that at different points in time, they didn't all actually do it at the same time. The Griffin was actually noticeable. Or it was during the spell plague that this happened. Sorry, not the Sundering. The Griffin actually activated much later in 1479. It appeared and it defended a place called Augarian's Tower, which resides to the north, kind of up near the Palace of Waterdeep. That these structures, these constructs, were supposed to be under control of one particular individual. The Blackstaff of Waterdeep controlled them. However, during the spell plague, they ran amok and did not follow the orders of the Blackstaff and caused a lot of havoc and issues and destruction, unfortunately. Among these statues, the other ones, there's one called the Godcatcher, one that is very notable, and it's a giant statue, I believe holding a globe, if I remember correctly. There's the Griffin. There is Sawagan Humbled, the Great Drunkard, the Lady Dreaming, the Honorable Knight, and the Hawkman, and there is one that lies in pieces at this point called the Sword Maiden.
Sorry about that.
So you had mentioned the Griffin showed up to defend Augarian's Tower. So was there already a stone statue and then it animated and defended the tower? Or
Yes.
There was no Griffin statue and then it showed up and they're like, holy shit, a moving statue.
The thing... Yeah, you would know this. The thing is that Waterdeep has, much like other ancient civilizations, it has been built atop itself upon other older civilizations. These statues were made long before the current iteration of Waterdeep and were thus buried underneath its streets. When these appeared, they appeared not out of thin air, but rather from beneath the streets and dug their way up and began terrorizing the city.
As we're walking, Viz is going to be like, Risk, do you see that big griffin up there that's all made out of stone that's like over 100 feet tall? And do you see that tower way over there? Well, a long time ago, there was a fight, and that thing flew, and it moved, and it went over there, and it fought the bad guys, and it swooped down, and it was like, ah! And it like killed all the guys, and it was cool, and it like tore them to pieces.
Are you telling me that the fucking statue, that giant fucking statue flew?
That one flew, but all the statues moved. There was like a fight, and like they broke stuff, and they turned on the people, some of them, but apparently the griffin defended the tower. Yeah, that was like a long time ago, like during the spell plague, long time ago. That's crazy, right?
That's crazy. Could they just do it on their own, or were they animated by someone?
I have no idea. Well, I mean, the statues are controlled by the I don't know, somebody. But like
The lady we talked to. No, that's who controls them. That's
yeah,
why
but
she's
it was
so
probably
cool.
a different black staff then, right? Like the spell
think-
plague so long ago.
I think it's always the same staff though. It just gets
It's
passed
about
down.
100 years ago, wasn't that long ago.
The spell plague?
Nice.
The second Sun Rain was like 100 years ago. The spell plague was like
Or maybe,
way before that. I
Yeah,
thought.
may have been a different individual.
But yeah, so like there's one person who could control them, but during the spell plague, they like turned on the city and they did whatever the hell they wanted.
Jesus.
Yeah, man. What would you do if a statue's attacking you? I'd run.
Oh, spell plague. Yeah, spell
I'd
plague was
fucking run.
1385.
Same.
I'm down for a good fight, but 100-foot fucking statue?
Yeah, I would try and get on top of its foot, and hopefully it just wouldn't notice me, and I could just ride along on its foot, and then I'd be fine.
Smart.
That's a really good idea.
It's a great battle
Or
strategy.
we could get some pink ooze, and we could like spray it, and then we could play some really sweet 80s jam, and we could ride the Statue of Liberty in downtown New York.
It's a Ghostbusters reference in case you guys didn't get it.
Fuck
Have-
is New York.
Who are you gonna call?
It's a city that's the same name as its state.
Have
It's like
I
Waterdeep,
noticed?
Waterdeep.
Have
The
I
fuck is a
noticed?
Doesn't make any sense.
Have I noticed Risk kind of shift in his mood?
Do what now?
He's
Risk.
asking Risk.
I'm
okay.
asking if I have noticed a shift in his mood.
He's not really hiding it.
A shift in your mood now. If you like
Yeah.
seen.
I'm trying to entertain him with
Mhm.
stories of history and lore. This'll make him happy. Let me recite to you this thing I read in a novel once.
Don't be upset. See, this thing happened. It could always
you
be
feeling okay,
worse.
Risk?
Just
Seems
not sure
sort
if you folks need me for this one. Just only seemed interested in the people of magic.
I can.
mean,
How much do you think our magical uses are going to be to go talk to a dude in a cave?
Yeah.
I think we're just helping the magic person. Like, they didn't talk to me. I'm magical as fuck. And they didn't talk to me. They only talked to Jot.
That's a good point.
And Kai, I guess. Right? Kai, you heard the voice too?
Yeah, but it's inconsequential.
Did
It
you
doesn't-
intercept it? Are you attuned to, like, intercept messages?
I
Sendings?
just-
That's the word.
I mean, that is kind of a thing, right? Like, if something's trying to enter into your mind, you can attempt to say no. I wasn't given that option,
You can do a do not disturb. Auto reply.
right?
The other D&D.
I'm out on vacation.
Typically, basically what Jot was cast upon was a sending spell.
Yeah, that's what I
This
assumed.
message was sent to her.
I mean, I just figure that like I got the message just because I'm registered already, and Kai's registered with the magic guild thing.
Oh, I'm not so concerned about the message. Just when we were in the tower, they didn't seem to be too interested in my services.
All right, well, here's what we're going to do.
To
I'm not
be-
going to use any magic, and we will show them just how useful us melee fighters can be. I don't need healing spells. I've got this healer's kit. Great.
Perfect.
Kai's gonna kind of place his hand upon Risk's shoulder and say, to be honest, they didn't seem too interested in our skills either, though.
Yeah. You
Also
seem to think
little-
we were kind of dumb, to be honest.
Also a little interested about why we are just doing work for free. You don't know these people.
Because Jot really wanted to.
I mean, she did kind of convince me.
She literally said 18 times in a row, I want to do it, I want to do it, I want to do it. So
What
Maybe
if they
she's
could,
hoping to become their
teach us,
secretary.
magic or something. Like,
At least they're honest with what we're getting for the job.
yeah, I mean, he did mislead us like several other people we know. So that was cool.
It's at least it's not the same situation as what we ran into with Volo. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's way better. I mean,
At least we
we're not
know
getting
up
paid.
front that we're getting nothing for this.
Yeah, but I mean, the last
Fair
two
point.
people we've introduced ourselves to and met have just been total dicks. Kind of a bummer.
He's not wrong.
Especially that Bolo asshole.
No, I meant Vincent and Realtor.
I like Vincent.
Realtor. They're just really. I mean, everyone's like, I'm too important for you. I don't know what we have to do to get on the A list here, but we got to be respected, and we're gonna do that.
Maybe if you talked less, you'd be on that list.
If I talked less, then we would just be listening to Kai having that conversation with the lady in the shop. That went well.
I'd much rather listen to that.
All right. So you make your way around, discussing and
crying.
talking with each other.
Just heartbroken, saddened.
Kelly is just trying to get the other Vizes to come out, the Viz that she liked.
to provoke the asshole biz.
This is just Biz is gonna put on eyeliner. He's gonna just put on some eyeliner. His hair is gonna go black and straight and long. He's gonna look real pale.
He's gonna
Just
turn into
Viz
emo
activate.
Viz.
Yeah. Just real sad. My life has no meaning.
When he shakes his head to turn his hair colors, is it like...
No, it hasn't been washed in
No,
days. It's
when
so
he
thick
shakes
and
his-
gross.
For him to make eye contact, he's doing this. What?
Gotta do this to get it out of my eye.
Does the
You just
flick?
don't understand. You just don't understand.
Everybody, give me a perception check.
Oh, rip.
Double ones.
Rip.
Viz.
Talia's too into finding somebody for something.
She's so worried about getting back to Waterdeep to see if what's-her-face is not going to bring her a drink.
Bonnie.
Bonnie.
In the yawning portal. So Viz, Jot, and Kai, as you're all walking around discussing with each other, carrying on this discussion, the three of you were able to start looking at the mountain. After now arriving properly to the south side, you kind of move out away from the street to this open clearing, kind of at the base of Mount Waterdeep itself. You start looking up, the side of it, and you see just mountain, craggy edifices and such abound above you. As you're looking up, though, the three of you are able to spot what appears to be this black metal rod extending out from the side of the mountain, and at the end of it, you see a lantern. And the day is starting to carry on. It's actually starting to grow, not quite sunset at this point, but it is starting to get a little bit darker, and you see that the lantern is lit. It's quite a ways up the side of the mountain.
Do we see a path or anything?
Viz, you notice that there are a couple paths that seem to be winding up here and there. You see it looks like one starts far to your west, within a few hundred feet. Going up, you see that none of these paths really make their way directly to where you're seeing this lantern up on the side of Mount Waterdeep, though.
Do any of the paths seem to lead south? Or to the south side of the mountain?
Yeah, you see a couple of them kind of winding their way up to it, heading towards the peak.
Oh, we're not on the south side of the mountain currently. Okay.
You are. You're looking up
Oh,
on
we
the
are.
south side. You see paths, kind of cutouts of the mountain itself, where you can kind of see them from the side profile, leading up towards the peak. But none of them seem to lead directly towards this, where you presume a cave to be.
Are there any that are above it or below it? like nearby-ish?
One does seem to cross kind of in a wrapping a wrapping trail, kind of going down beneath it. Hard to tell exactly from your perspective, but it's probably maybe 100 feet or so below it, and then going off to the side towards the
I'll let my
east side of it.
party know that just like my existence in life, there's a path that leads pretty much nowhere, but is close to the goal, but not quite where it needs to be. And I'll just kind of motion towards it, and I guess we should take that one.
Door.
You do all see, like I said, this rocky edifice going up the side of the mountain. Clearly looks like you could climb it if you wanted to. Obviously be much more taxing than taking a trail.
Yeah, I want to get as close as possible, and then if we have to climb, Talia can do it.
Risk kind of wants to take a climb.
Okay. How's
Risk
everyone
is like, this looks
approaches?
way harder. I'm going to do it.
Well, it seems like
There's stairs
my set
right
of
here,
skills.
man. Like, you can just take stairs. Like, nah, I'm going to scale the building.
I'm just gonna remind you that climbing is probably athletics, not acrobatics.
We'll totally climb.
I would like to front flip up the building, please.
So, how's everybody approaching this?
I'm going to take the path that's as close to it as possible.
Definitely, I'm not really. I've never rock climbed.
And then I'll ask Talia to boost me up.
I can only assume that Kai and Jot are just sitting down at the side of this path, just watching them look like they're going to scale this wall.
Yeah, like if Riz starts running up to it, be like,
I want to show off and try and climb it because I'm better than everyone else.
Okay. Riz?
Risk wants to. Risk is going to turn down the challenge. he sees challenge in Talia's eyes, and he's going to try. He's going to try.
yes, do it.
Seems
like-
real confident in that.
But he's
All right.
really going to be trying to like bouncing his way up it, just like not so much just climbing as much as he is throwing himself up it. I'm doing everything I
Bounding
can.
from stone to stone, from footfall to football.
Great, this is acrobatics.
Make a mountain goat check.
Pirouette from foothold to foothold.
All right, so three of you head off a little bit to the west. You clearly see that going up this trail is going to take reasonably longer than taking the straight
I
shot
see a
straight
puppy
up.
in the background.
But with that, Risk and Talia say, we'll meet you up there. And you all set off, going up the west, starting to go up this winding path up the mountain. Risk and Talia, give me athletics checks.
I would like to stay close enough. Oh, hey, nice. Jeez.
You have a -1?
That's why I
That was an amazing roll.
I knew you could do acrobatics.
Okay, what were you doing, John?
I have a +5 and you beat
I just
me.
would like to, if possible, at least when they're starting, keep an eye on them and is it possible to be within 60 feet of the two of them?
Here and there. Once again, this path is winding up and around the mountain. It seems like it was made by the path of least resistance when creating this path. So it's very winding. It's definitely the scenic route to getting up towards the top of it. You don't stay within 60 constantly. So as the three of you start moving up the mountain along the trail, you see Talia and Risk start climbing, and they're moving pretty briskly, honestly. You see it, you're keeping up with them for the most part as the set of stairs up this path starts leading up, and you see it flattens out into some ramps and such. You disappear kind of wrapping around to the, almost said whapping again, wrapping around to the north side of the mountain, or the west side of the mountain rather, and you lose sight of them. As you come back around, as it winds back towards the south, you see that they're about 100 feet above you now, all of a sudden. Still going up. You see that they're a little over halfway now, up towards where this lantern is, and as you all start getting higher up, you're able to clearly see that the rock seems to be carved out where this lantern is hanging over the side. You see that lantern, the rod kind of holding it out, probably a good 30 feet long or so. Obviously meant to be a very obvious site, something, or a landmark, I suppose. So about an hour and a half or so passes. The three of you on the trail, you find yourself now below where you can clearly see about 100 feet or so up above you. You see this lantern, dusk now kind of setting on. You can clearly see it lit up above you. and you see Risk and Talia crawling over next to the lantern and disappearing out of sight.
Okay.
You see Risk's legs dangling off the edge of it. He's just sitting up there waiting.
He's like eating his lunch, just kicking his legs, jamming. I would like. So we need to climb at this point. Is that my understanding?
That or some other means.
All right. I would like to do my best to assist Jot with the climbing.
Risk is going to take his rope from the bag. Can
That's
it reach?
what I was about to
Can
ask.
his rope reach down?
It's 100 feet.
2 ropes.
Talia, can I borrow your rope?
Sorry,
I
guys.
mean, we can
For
climb. I can hand. I mean, how long's your rope?
I mean, it's not a sheer cliff or anything. Just keep that in mind. It is climbable, very much so.
Yeah, I just want to throw my assistance to Jot because I feel like she might struggle a little.
Okay.
I actually don't think I have rope.
Do you have a lot of seaweed, maybe?
Just tied the seaweed.
Do you have seaweed? Wow.
Like an excessive amount? Like not that kind of seaweed.
That's
seaweed.
also racial profiling.
You're right. I apologize.
Kai, are you also climbing, or are you doing something else?
Yeah, I'll climb. I do have rope though.
Okay. Viz, as you were assisting Jot, all of you make athletics checks. Jot, you will do it with advantage, and Viz, you will do it with disadvantage.
Okay.
Not bad.
Oh, that was so good!
Poor Jot.
My roll was so good!
It was so good.
Can I just carry her?
Didn't say you were doing that, unfortunately.
I said assist her however I can. Can I just tuck her under my arm and carry her?
Assisting implies helping. not
Fireman's
doing it for
carry.
her.
Okay, well,
What
I mean,
happens if she's first and she like lands on his shoulder, so he's like helping her up?
yeah,
He's
like
holding her up
if
on
I can
her
see she's
shoulders.
not making it, I'm not going to climb up. Like, my job is to be like pushing her on the butt, just getting her up there. And if that's not working, if she's still struggling, I won't go up without her.
I'm okay if I fall, by the way.
So, Jot
No,
struggles.
not
a
okay
bit.
if you fall. We're doing this together. Yeah, I know you can waste a spell slot and not get hurt, but we're getting up there together.
Okay.
All right, so as you're all climbing, you see that Jot's able to do this. She's able to climb, howbeit it definitely seems to be taking a toll, even with Viz's assistance. Talia and Risk, as you're kind of glancing over the edge of this this entrance, as you turn around, you're able to see what appears to be a long tunnel back behind you. You see it's lined with candles, and the ones that you can see from the entrance to this cave, it seems like the candles are kind of half burnt already. It takes them about 30 minutes or so to climb up this last 100 feet, kind of watching their footholds and handholds and such, making their way up. It's not a super difficult climb, but unfortunately it does take a bit of more exertion for Jot with her noticeably smaller appendages to climb up there. Jot, you will suffer 1 level of exhaustion.
Oh, damn.
from
Okay.
this climb. Everyone else, or actually, give me a con save, John.
Okay. Con save.
Okay, you will not take any level of exhaustion, actually. So you're able to push through it.
Alright.
It's definitely very exhausting, but you're able to move through it without overexerting yourself, just taking a bit more time to not follow in the footsteps of your companions, as their footholds and handholds are obviously much larger.
Way too far.
Way too far of a span for you to make. So you have to make your own path. Takes you a little bit longer. But
What if I just like dangled out my leg and let her like climb up my leg, and then I would use the next handhold, and then she could just.
just like
She's not really
no,
climbing the mountain anymore. She's
piggyback
climbing
you.
the-
That's what we should have done. Is
Just-
just me piggyback somebody.
Your right leg is just a little heavier than you're used to. That's all.
So with that, you find yourselves all climbing over Jot, a little bit winded, but able to get up over the precipice of this. And you see, Risk and Talia kind of looking at you, a bit of I'd imagine a satisfied smirk on both of their faces. As you all
Can you
Talia's-
imagine
yes.
Jot trying
Talia's-
to make that entire climb?
Talia's pissed because Risk beat her by about a second.
I am pretty upset that someone beat me. I am really upset about.
Well, I mean, like they beat us by 100 feet or so. So, like, however long it took us to climb this rock face, Risk has just had this big shit-eating grin on his face. He's like, "Who's strong now?"
All right. So as you all crest over there, you're able to see darkness is really starting to set in at this point. It's not quite nighttime, but it's very, very close. You see this long tunnel set before you, lined with candles. Can't see the end of it. Don't see anybody around. You just see a tunnel before you. What do you want to do?
Take a break.
Take a break.
Okay. Okay. We're going to do that, or we're going to go to the next part and then take a break. So we'll go ahead and take our 5-minute break real quick, and then we'll continue on into Mount Waterdeep. So
Change my mind. I want to go down the mountain now.
For the record, Risk saw that he was going to get up top first, and he actually slowed a little bit to let Talia pass him.
Oh, what a gentleman.
Oh.
I can sense that, and I'm angry now. There's no potential.
You'd have to roll an insight check to my insight check.
check for that.
Let's see, deception
or performance versus
Performance
insight
versus
Yeah.
insight.
Which one do you want?
here?
do
His
you-
performance.
Risk, give me a performance, and then Talia, give me an insight check.
That's like my
Oh.
worst numbers.
Yeah, so as this was happening before, Risk and Talia neck and neck for the most part, and then Risk slowly started making ground as Talia kind of struggled, not really having to climb like this before. Just her sheer strength able to allow her to press on without issue. As you started getting nearer to the top, the lantern very much glowing inside, you notice that Risk seemed to be getting winded. His strength kind of fading a bit, and you're able to easily just muscle past him up to the top in about 10 seconds or so. You're able to get to the top and climb over, just getting to a point where you can sit down and look as Risk climbed over.
It
Not
was enough.
noticing anything else.
It was enough for Risk to know that he was going to win. He didn't need to rub it in anyone's face. The
Man.
moment he knew that he was going to win, that was enough for him.
He's still got that shit-eating grin on his face. He's like, I know you won.
All right, and we will
All
take
right,
our
I need a drink.
All right, be right back.
All right. So everybody's going to go and take their break now. I'm going to go and take my break. Go gather a quick drink here. Let me set this to here. Yeah. Gonna go and get a drink. When I get back, we will continue on. So far, so good. A lot of fun. Everybody seems pretty excited. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. And maybe? I don't know. Is it the right one? We'll see. I don't think it is. Here we go. Nope. Showing Civil War. Cool. Alright, be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. All right, we are back. Thank you for tuning in. Looks like we're ready to go. All right.
It's fine.
Havoc, up to you.
All right, so I mean, kind of up to me. Once again, you've all gotten up to this point. You obviously see a cave before you. You see this tunnel leading off and kind of wrapping off to the left. You can't see into it aside from what is illuminated by these candles that are kind of halfway burnt down. At this point, still lit and such, still the flickering firelight illuminating the chamber beyond. What do y'all want to do?
I'd like to go in the cave.
Okay. Anybody else?
Just
I'd
him
like-
alone. Yeah, just alone.
I'd like to watch Viz walk into the cave.
Risk is staying next to this.
Do we see any like I don't know how well. I mean, Jot's not gonna be good at like looking for this sort of
Totally
stuff. But
lit.
any like animal tracks or droppings or anything on the ground around here?
Make a survival check. As you're looking around, you see kind of in this flat surface, the kind of entry point into this tunnel here, into this cave. You see a few like bird droppings here and there, but nothing really seems to stand out. You do see what appear to be footsteps. You're able to clearly see like normally when you see like footsteps in dirt like this, you do see that, you know, once it's kind of a sandy ground rock earth below your feet. Normally you'd see, you know, shoe prints or boot prints or something along those lines. However, as you're looking at this, you see bare feet, 5 toes, not a large foot, you know, definitely adult size though. You see kind of coming out, you see one set coming out over to the edge, almost like somebody came out and looked over the edge, and then leading back into the tunnel.
Okay. I'll go in the cave. Follow them.
Anybody not going into the cave?
I'll follow them too.
Yeah, I'll stick close to the back and kind of watch behind us as we go in.
So, Jot, you're gonna do all the talking, right?
Do you want me to?
Yes.
Okay.
This is your mission. You're gonna lead it, and you're gonna run it, and you're gonna own it.
If we die, it's your fault.
So as you all start moving in this tunnel, only a few seconds pass and you find yourself walking down this winding tunnel. The entirety of it lined with these candles, kind of not really mounted on any kind of platform or anything. It seems like the wall was kind of ground out, and then candles were set there. You see wax is kind of puddled down towards their base, holding them in place. But you keep moving down, and as you wind around one corner off to the left, you see before you a chamber opening up in front of you. And as you look in there, you see it's a little bit more illuminated before, and you see a man before you. You see that he is sitting cross-legged, his hands kind of up in a open-handed expression, his eyes kind of closed, though it does seem like he's not fully sleeping or anything like that. And with that, he's facing towards you as you all move forward. And as your footfalls kind of echo through the tunnel, you hear him say out loud as his head perks up a bit and his eyes open. He says, "Yes, I have visitors, it seems. How can I help you today?"
Are you Mom?
Halam was the name I was given at my birth, yes.
Okay. Do you know anything about any threats to Waterdeep?
I know many things. Threats, coincidences, fates, stories.
I'll kind of step forward a little bit more. I guess I could actually move my token.
Yeah, you have full control.
Can you tell us about them?
I have the ability to do so, yes.
Will you tell us about them?
That is yet to be seen.
Do I need to do something for you to tell us about them?
With that, you see him lowering his hands as he kind of leans back. His legs still crossed as he's sitting on the floor. Says, "What you need or not need to do is not for me to say, only you alone."
I believe what my friend here is trying to say is, will you aid us in some way?
With that, he looks over at you, Kai, and with that, he nods and stands up, moving a bit slowly as he does so. You see this man looks kind of old. You see gray. His head's completely shaven all the way across, but you do see his very furry-looking eyebrows are just completely white or gray with age. With that, he nods, and you see him kind of motioning for you to enter into the large chamber. You see him walk over towards the western side, and you hadn't initially seen it, but you see a table set up over here with a couple of candles astride on either side. And you see what appear to be some somewhat plain-looking, white material of some kind. Glasses, a teapot is almost what it looks like. He walks over, and you see him moving out, and he glances back behind him, seeming to look between each of you in turn, and pulls out 5 glasses and sets them out in front of it, and he begins pouring tea into each one. Once again, very slowly as he does so, but gets through it. And with that, he sets the... yes. I think. Yes. And with that, he steps back away from the table and holds his hand out kind of in a presenting motion. Says, "Here, for you."
I'll take a cup.
Tally's gonna wait until all the others drink their tea to see what happens before she drinks hers.
What kind of tea is it?
Won't you share in the tea with us, Hem? You only poured 5 glasses. There's 6 of us.
With that, he looks at you and says, "Well, you appear to be somewhat tired and possibly thirsty. It must have been a bit of a climb to get up here."
It's fine.
It was
okay.
easy.
It's really hard. I'm really
John's panting. Oh, God.
I'll smell the tea. What is it? Like, can I tell what type of tea it is at all?
It smells like just regular herb tea. Nothing frivolous or special.
Black
even
tea or like some sort of herbal?
Yeah, some kind of, maybe green tea
Okay.
to give it a firm hold in your mind, I guess.
Am I getting any kind of weird vibe from this guy? Do I believe that he's just offering us a refreshment, or he's trying to hurt anyone?
Not really getting any kind of vibes from him. As far as ill intent or anything of that nature. As you moved into the room, he's kind of stepped away, allowing you to move towards the glasses. He's standing there now with his hands crossed in front of him as he looks at you in turn. Kind of waiting for you to all move forward towards the tea and such, and says, "Well, your thirst has been quenched. I believe I have aided you in some way. Why have you come here?"
We were sent, kind of complicated. Okay, so, I think the Black Staff originally asked us. We didn't talk to the Black Staff, though. We talked to this guy named... Was that Rilatar? Yeah, Rilatar. And he said to come see you and ask you about what you know about threats to Waterdeep, and then come back and tell him what you said. So I'm doing that.
Much talking, it seems, that you've been doing today.
Yeah, it's been a lot, actually. Been a lot of talking to.
Not exactly my choice either.
With that, he kind of nods down to the tea. It will help a bit if your throat is growing weary from the constant turmoil of speaking with others, if that seems a bit of a trial for you.
I'll sip the tea. We'll sip. Taste it a bit.
It's a bit plain, but it's warm. It tastes okay. Not anything you're going to be like, oh my god, best tea I've ever had, but definitely passable. Soothing to your throat. Quenches your thirst a bit, especially after that climb. And with that, as Jot is drinking, the rest of you kind of looking at the tea and such, the man turns to you all, kind of looking you in turn. Says, well, she has said her purpose. What is it that brings the rest of you here?
I was just following Jot. She really wanted to do it and wouldn't stop. Can we do it? Can we do it? So I'm just here for her.
I as well am here to support my friend in her quest and her desires for improvement for self and her attempts to find inner growth. I want to support those close to me.
Or the voices in her head.
We are.
John is now like starting to look really, really awkward and uncomfortable. Like, oh God, I forced everyone to do this.
We
Bad
are
friend
not.
now.
We are not difficult individuals. If our friend asks us to help them, then we certainly do. But we are a bit curious as to what your purpose in all of this is.
I'm just
Are
here
you
to make sure
interested
that
in brothels?
I'm just here to make sure that the pale guy with the dark hair doesn't get stabbed again.
That's right. I'm emo. Forgot about it.
So as you're all
I don't know
replying,
why I'm here. What is my purpose in life?
so as
What
you're
is
all
life?
Purpose in life.
replying to him, the man kind of nods to you each in turn as you answer. Says, so we have one with a purpose, and the others following her on that purpose, it seems.
Yeah.
Does anyone even really have a purpose? Like when you think about it?
We all have purposes, I think, whether it be to climb a mountain and come speak to an old man, or for me to teach students and let others gain insight into the wisdom that has been imparted to me. Purposes here and there.
But what is purpose? What is life? What's it worth?
Where's the fun, Viz?
You killed him! You killed him by saying he talked too much.
That's not the fun, Viz. I want the asshole, Viz.
How long have you been up here? Do you just live in this cave all the time?
With that, the
Kind of
man.
look around a little bit.
With that, the man kind of thinks for a moment, his eyebrows kind of meeting together, kind of as he thinks. And says, a few days or so, I believe. I venture out here and there. I'm not a hermit, as it were, but this is my home. This is where I reside, and where other people do seek me out here and there for wisdom, as you have, or training, as others have.
Are you part
Training.
of a monastery? Wait, training? What?
Training does obviously sit a little odd. What type of training do you offer?
With that, he thinks, says, I am a devotee, a servant of Tyr. Every once in a while, some younger individuals, usually, not always, but usually, get it in their mind that I would be able to teach them the way of the sacred fists, and they seek me out for such teachings. Most don't last long, unfortunately.
Yes, obviously those with shorter lives have less attention to pay to the gods and deities of their choosing. But still begs the question, why were we sent here to speak to you?
With that, the man thinks for a moment and turns to Jot. You said you sought wisdom. About what again? Threats, was it?
Threats to Waterdeep is what we were asked to ask you.
Make a persuasion check. Jot.
Okay.
So with that, the man, obviously Halam, stands back and thinks for a moment. Threats. Wisdom is as cryptic as it is helpful sometimes, and sometimes the opposite is true. Evil grows more paranoid and less patient daily. They will strike before summer starts. And with that, the man leans back once again, looking at you all.
They will strike before summer starts.
Mm-hmm.
We're in fall now, right?
Spring?
Spring.
I thought it was almost.
It's like beginning of spring.
I thought it was almost the Halloween thing. Fuck, it's not Roll Tide, it's Troll Tide.
Yeah, that's
right. I thought it was.
So that's
that a
between
fall
spring
thing?
and summer. No, it's between spring and summer.
Oh, okay.
Who's they?
I do not know.
Oh.
Do you know anything that could help us prepare for them?
Or
I do not.
perhaps prevent?
I do not know.
What kind of
Wisdom.
training do you offer?
The Ancient Fist?
Sacred fists.
Sacred Fist.
With that, you see the man thank you for a moment as he looks over at Risk and says it's difficult to describe.
Could you
It's
show
something.
me?
Straight out of the Matrix. Show me.
With that, he nods. He says, "I could. He kind of looks around the room, kind of not, very bare in here. There is a table. That's it. Candles. With that, he says, "I have nothing preoccupying me at the moment. I believe I could show you." With that, he walks out to the middle of this chamber and kind of looks over. His hands kind of clasped behind his back at this point.
Oh,
and
here
looks
we
over
go.
at you, Risk.
Here we go.
You gonna fight?
With that, he looks over at Risk and then starts to kind of glance around at the rest of the room. Just him. No one else?
No one else. I'm gonna do this on my own.
Kai's going
Unless
to...
I can beat him.
I don't think any of us can. I got a
Kai's,
feeling.
Kai's going to... I think I have it. Yeah. Send a message to Risk and just say... just so nobody else kind of hears it, and say, if you need assistance, just give me the sign and I will assist.
Even if I'm going to die, don't stick
Helen.
with this.
Is this something that can be experienced together? I feel a great closeness with Risk. He has stood by my side many times in an effort to protect me. And if this is something that you are showing or demonstrating that would improve either of our abilities to protect each other, I'd love to be a part of it.
With that, Halam kind of looks around and nods to you, Viz, and then looks around at the rest of the group and says, "If you would all like to learn, I can teach you all at once."
Love learning. Literally the only thing my god asks of me.
Well,
I am here to learn about landwalkers.
What sort of lesson is it?
We're gonna get punched. We're gonna get punched so hard.
I know.
You
With
might
that,
get
Halam doesn't necessarily pace, but he begins walking and talking at the same time. Says, "The way of the sacred fists is a monastic tradition. It is one that I have learned and spent my life mastering. I combine my faith to my god tier with my martial prowess. Of course, it is not what it once was, but..." And as he says that, he stops, and you see him kind of sliding his foot across the ground as he faces towards Risk and Viz in front of him. "It's still enough to still teach those who seek it."
Oh, whoops! I was totally spelling it super wrong the whole time.
Yeah,
I was spelling it with
TYR.
an Y, with an I instead of I. I'm not. I don't really like punch things.
well, You could always leave that to those that do.
Well, but would I learn something if I don't punch things normally? Or do you have to punch things to learn something?
I teach everyone and anyone who seeks it out, and those that are able to withstand my teachings, to learn a great deal. You do not need to simply punch things to learn.
That's how I learn best.
Kai's,
Teaches you by punching you repeatedly.
Kai's going.
You don't have to punch things, but he punches you.
Kai's going to kind of slowly kind of raise his left hand up a bit, and everybody kind of around him feels like this kind of chill that falls over them. Risk, Viz, and Talia, you specifically sense kind of a dead feeling over you that almost bolsters you a little bit. You are basically getting blessed for the start of whatever is about to happen here.
I'll
Namaste.
cast Mage Armor on myself.
Okay. Anybody else like to do anything else, or is anybody not participating in this lesson?
Risk is going to drop his sword and his hand crossbow. Any of his weapons, he's just going to drop on the ground.
As your sword clanks off the ground in front of you, you see Hilam glancing down at it. Are you sure about that decision?
Yes.
No.
Very well. Roll for initiative.
Yeah.
Click your token.
Click your token.
Please and thank you.
What's the roll for an unarmed strike?
1d4 plus strength.
Plus your
by the
strength,
way.
yeah.
You got a max of 3.
And then you get a 1 plus your strength modifier. So
Shit, it's not. There's no chance it's plus. Shit.
no, it's 1 plus your strength modifier.
It can't be Dex. Fuck.
Nope.
Nope.
Pick your weapons back up, bud.
Better just slowly reach down and say, I think I'll take these anyways.
Can I retcon the dropping of the...
Can I retcon it?
You can, yeah, you can
Are
only
you
do
sure?
it one way
Yes.
though. One way though. When Hilam
Roll for initiative.
looked at you and said, "Are you sure about that?" You kind of looked at him and then looked down at your weapons.
No, I'm not. Hold on.
I'm gonna go ahead and pick them back up.
Risk looks him in the eyes and says,
Nope. Nope.
Nope.
Nope.
"Nope."
All right. So
There's no easy way to do this thing with the mage armor. Okay, it's
yeah, just adjust your AC. It's fine.
okay. Well,
make sure
I'm just
you're-
worried about remembering to adjust it back down.
Yeah.
You can do so if you click the little cog in your character sheet, and then go down. There is an option for show global AC modifier field on the right hand side. If you check that, there will be a new box on the front page, and you can set that whatever that modifier would be,
Ah, nice.
and then you
thank
can put a check mark on it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's cool. I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Learned something. All
Oh,
right.
hang on. Okay, I did it, but it didn't show up anything different.
So you have to check it and then put whatever the total would be in the little box beside it. So click the cog beside it and then set the value and then whatever it's called. And then once you do that, you click the checkbox and then it changes your armor class total.
Yeah, that'll be on your core sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I clicked the box on the under the cog,
Mhm.
and then
Now you'll
So
have...
then on the right-hand side, so you're talking about the main settings cog?
yeah, so I clicked
Yep.
the cog.
And then you check the box on the right-hand side that says Show Global AC Modifier.
Uh huh.
And then click where it says Core.
Uh huh.
And then scroll down below your attacks
goes
and
down
you'll
below.
see Global AC Modifier.
Ah, there we go. Perfect. Okay,
There you go.
perfect. Okay, nice.
All right.
I just looked
Yeah.
where the other box was. I hadn't scrolled down.
Yeah.
So then just
All
add
right.
whatever the
Yep.
the extra would be from.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yeah,
You
it'll
just
stack on
click the
whatever's
little
in your
cog
AC.
and then set the value to what you want and then say what the item is or whatever.
Just back up mage armor.
Alrighty. So, as all of you look down and prepare yourselves for this lesson, courtesy of Hlam. He bursts forward, moving at a speed that you did not expect a man of his age to be able to do, and he attacks Talia, Risk, and Viz.
Oh, I see.
The cute ones of the group.
27 against Talia, 26 against Risk, and a 29 against Viz. I'm assuming all of those hit.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to use my reaction to do Unsettling Visage to give him disadvantage on the attack.
Okay. It will be a 24 to hit then.
Okay, that misses.
All right. It's an auto crit now. All three of you, make strength saving throws, please.
Sorry, Cassie asked me a question. I took off my headphones. What happened?
Strength saving throw, please.
I beat Risk this time, yeah.
Okay.
I lost to Viz though, so that makes me feel even worse.
Sorry, this is a block of text. Let me read it real quick. Oh, I have a choice there. Okay, well, we're just gonna go with the first one. All right, so Viz succeeds. Talia, what do you have in your hands currently?
My trident?
You drop it. Viz, Risk, what do you have in your hands currently?
Oh.
Nothing.
Yeah,
Nothing.
And he died.
Just scared him away. Good job.
He dropped everything when we started.
do you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Risk has his short sword and his hand crossbow.
Okay. In the order you just said them, you drop your short sword.
Okay.
Viz, you take
Why the fuck did you
14.
ask if I wanted to pick it back up?
I take how much damage?
14. Risk, you take 10. And Talia, you take 13. All bludgeoning damage. As Halam rushes forward, his hands opened up in this palm gesture. He just quickly tap, 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 all three of you at the same time, moving between each of your bodies. As Talia and Risk are hit, the wind is completely knocked out of you, and you grasp at your chest, dropping your weapons in the turn, or in the moment of it. And that is his turn. Talia.
Oh, did you guys get blessed, by the way?
Everybody
you got blessed,
did.
didn't you?
Well, Talia, Risk, and Viz did, yes.
So is that affect saving throws too?
It does? Yes, bless affects saving throws.
Were either of them
would
with
have helped.
a D4?
Yeah, roll a d4.
Yeah,
Let's
well,
see.
yeah. Well,
Yep.
the first question would just be: are any of them within the D4?
Yep, they would get a d4 on every saving throw.
You were. It wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. So y'all are marked now. Okay, so Talia, you dropped your trident and got punched in the chest. It hurt. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna rage
Okay.
because that pisses me off that this old man disarmed me. And then can I pull out my great axe and attack him, motherfucker?
Ooh. Just fixing your HP real quick. Okay, cool.
This MFer.
Yeah. So you can rage and pull out your great axe and attempt to hit him. Sure.
Oh,
24 to hit. Nice.
what's your rage damage
If
on that?
if you say that doesn't hit, I'm going to tell everybody to back down right now.
24 will hit.
Urgh.
What's the rage damage? What is your strength
Wouldn't it be
mod?
+2?
+2.
Yeah, plus
Yeah, I
2.
think it's close to.
All right, so 11 damage. Okay. Okay. Anything else?
I'm gonna look at him real angrily. Don't touch my trident.
He didn't touch your trident.
He made me drop it. I blame the force that came out of his hand is making me drop it because I would never drop that on my own.
Okay. So as Talia pulls out the great axe, screaming in a rage as she does so, swinging around, you see the edge of her great axe able to glance across Salam's skin. You see that Obviously, she connected with him, but as she did so, it kind of glanced off a bit, off of his skin. Definitely hitting him and doing damage, but seeming to not do as much as she thought it would. Risk.
What the fuck?
Risk is going to smile and bit off a little more than we can chew here. And he's going to pull out his hand axe as he steps across, trying to kind of get between the man and Viz. And he's going to take a swing with his hand axe on the way through, and he's going to fucking miss completely.
You have a D4.
You have a D4.
You have a D4?
Would a 13 hit, Havoc?
I don't know.
Nope.
10 won't.
10 no.
So it's okay because it was a feint for him to raise up. He was trying to catch him off guard and raise up his offhand with the hand crossbow.
A 19. Okay. Anything else?
And that is the end of his turn.
All right. So as you bring the hand axe around, clearly swinging right towards Slom's head, you swing through, feeling like you got contact until you see his head's no longer there. He's just simply leaned back away from it. You quickly raise up your hand crossbow and fire a bolt directly at him. And as you do so, you see he's almost moving slow in your eyes, but far quick enough to dodge your attacks as he simply sidesteps, and your crossbow bolt flies right past him, flying over Jot's head.
A fucking 19.
He deflected missiles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
Jot.
Jot's just gonna be like, this seems just like a bad idea in general, but okay. And I will magic missile. Let's see. Hang on though, that's not right because that does 3 things.
Yes, it's just that 3 times.
Okay. So yeah, so it would be then I guess 15.
Let me double check. I don't remember if the...
Multiply.
24 plus 1, 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times.
Is it the plus 1 3 times?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
There's basically 3 separate darts, and so each one does 1d4 plus 1.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of them hit, obviously, because
Yeah.
magic missile.
Okay.
Anything else?
I'm just right here.
All right. So as you... No, okay. So as you fire off these 3 beams of force energy flying through the air, you see Halam looking back at you, and as they come down, they hit him. But as they're hitting him, he's stepping forward. And as he moves forward, all 3 of you there, standing right next to him, see him moving, and you feel your body's just unable to react as he moves up right next to Jot.
Oh god, no, please. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
I
Regret.
think not.
You will not get opportunity attacks on
Yeah,
him.
disengaged. Yeah.
All right. Viz.
Wait, he could move not on his turn?
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit, man.
Okay, my... let's see. Viz is going to go up behind him, and I'm going to attempt to grapple him.
Okay. Make a athletics check, if I remember
Mhm.
correctly.
Athletics versus yeah,
His
his acrobatics or strength.
And I wrap
His
my arms around him
acrobatics
from
or
behind.
athletics,
Wait,
whichever
do I get
one you want.
advantage since I'm flanking him?
Or just straight strength or dex.
We're
How do
doing
you-
flanking rules in this game. I'm coming up behind him, trying to wrap my arms
We
around
were
him.
we are
and
doing
get him away.
flanking on this campaign, by the way.
We are
You
doing
said we
Franklin.
were.
Yeah, we are. Mm-hmm. I did. Yeah, go ahead and do it with advantage. Okay.
So 14.
Okay.
I'm gonna wrap my arms around him. I'm gonna say, "Get away from Jot. This is her mission. She needs to succeed."
All right. So as you run up behind him, wrapping your arms around him, you feel firmly as you hold on to him, trying to bring his weight back away from Jot, and then suddenly your arms collapse, and you see him standing right in front of you.
Yeah, he was standing in front of me the whole time. I'm not trying to like pull him backwards. I'm just trying to get myself around him so he can't punch Jot.
Mhm.
I can't like restrain him. I'm just trying to get all around him, but he breaks free.
Yeah, your grapple failed.
Okay.
He squirmed out.
I know I'm not. I said I wasn't going to use magic, so that's the end of my turn.
Okay. Alrighty, Kai.
Kai 100% is using magic because he doesn't care. And he is immediately going to kind of pull back, take his hands, and as he pushes forward, this black cloud begins to surround this individual. And I am casting Grasp of Darkness and a crit fail.
No.
Damn it.
You know what I need.
I know what you need.
It's a spell fail, too. We don't get to see these very often. It's exciting. Come on.
Drum roll, please.
Oh, man. It was going to be super exciting because, like, it hit, and then the next person gets an attack advantage, and...
Oh, that one's boring.
You missed the perfect number by 10.
I know, like a whole 10 points.
All right, so as you cast the spell...
Oop, lost
Okay.
him. There we go.
Fix your Discord.
Mine's having a lot of issues. I don't know if anyone else is. I haven't.
I am
disconnected.
too.
Mine constantly goes between green and red connections.
Yours is
Mhm.
lagged up a bunch. I've watched yours
Yeah.
lag up.
Just Discord being
Yeah.
I didn't get any messages until I jumped on my computer tonight, and I'm like, I have 50 messages. What were you guys doing today? I didn't get any on my phone.
So as you try to cast the spell, your mind seems to fight against you for some reason, and your memory blanks on spells that require components. Because I don't think you're using a component pouch, so like the normal reasoning on that. So you will be unable to cast spells requiring material components until the end of your next turn.
All right.
Anything else?
And then Kai's just gonna move up close and use the rest of his movement to go ahead and equip his shield and kind of stand in place here.
Okay. So as the spell fails, Viz, you see Halam turning back around towards you, and he looks at you with a bit of concern in his eyes. And he says, "You're holding back. You shouldn't do that." And he attacks you.
I'm unconscious.
This is
29 to hit.
I'm unconscious.
buddy.
So as Halam says
Wait, how much
that,
damage? Maybe I'm
14.
not unconscious.
14.
Oh, I'm dead.
You're not dead.
No, you're right.
Unconscious.
You have a healing kit. I'll use it on you.
Thanks for picking up that healing kit so we could heal you later. Appreciate it.
At least-
bandage over and all.
Before I go unconscious, as he says that to me, I want to say the support I can offer my friends is more than what I can do by myself. And then I want to go unconscious with like this.
All right, so as
Get good,
Halam turns
scrub.
around, whispering something unintelligible to the rest of you, to Viz, he quickly, with this very quick palm strike right up against Viz's chest, you see Viz flying backwards, a finger up in the air as he falls back, his eyes closing, and he lands with a heavy thud on the ground. It's now his turn. With that, he turns around, looking at you all. He looks down at Viz, now lying on the ground. He says, "This will not do for a lesson. Y'all must try harder, I think." And with that, he turns and looks at Viz. Viz, you feel energy coursing through you.
Oh god, I'm so dead.
And
You're
you are
just getting magic
healed
CPR, it's fine.
by 9 points. Your eyes flutter open as you hit the ground, just a breath in between you hitting the ground before being healed. As Halam stands over you, a bit of a little tiny bit of a smirk on his face. And with that, he turns towards Jot. He says, "Now you
You're my
must
boy,
start."
Risk.
And he will strike you one.
Huh?
Striking
25
shot.
to hit.
Yeah, that hits,
No.
of course.
All right, for 16 bludgeoning damage.
I'm unconscious.
Wait, of course that doesn't hit because reasons.
All right. So with that, Jot's small frame is struck by this man's palm. She slides back a few feet before falling to the ground, not moving. Talia.
You motherfucker, my landwalkers! And I'm gonna attempt to, like, run at him with my dagger.
Your dagger.
Dagger.
Wait, don't you
I figured, like, in raid, I just, like, yank that out. I was gonna try. No, do you know what? I'm gonna run at him and try and grapple him so, like, I could beat him to the ground with anger. I'm gonna try and grapple him.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an athletics check. You successfully grapple him.
Yay.
I was gonna say, don't forget your D4.
Motherfucker, what'd you do to my friends?
All right. Where are you positioned? Like right below him, or?
Can I, like, grapple on top of him? Like, pin him down?
You're grappling him. You can try next turn to like tackle him to the ground if you want, but you've used your action to grapple.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
I'm gonna stare meanly at him, like the meanest look he's ever seen from intro.
All right.
Does Talia have scales?
Kind of like she has some, but it's not like she's not full scale. She has some as decor.
I imagine those are like prickly against his skin. As you're like on top of him, like just grinding your fish scales against him.
My
All
skin
right.
is not the softest.
All right. Make a intimidation check, but use your athletics score as you're flexing up. So just give me an athletics check.
So D20 plus your
Oh!
Nat 20, okay.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
Drink.
That's a drink, yep.
First nat 20 of the night.
All right.
Someone else had
I'm,
that 20,
I'm
didn't
out.
Oh, did
Or
we
is it
have
just
one?
fails?
Check, I think.
Did you
Yeah,
say
a lot of-
fails?
No, I had a crit fail.
Yeah, we've had some crit fails.
All right, so as Talia rushes forward, still very angry, she just forgoes her weapons completely and just wraps up Plum in this huge bear hug, trying to drag him around, her scales of her skin just grinding against him as she's just intimidatingly looking down on him. Just her muscles bulging with the effort. You see Plum is just looking at you, now facing you, as clearly you have his attention with a very calm, serene look on his face.
God, I want to punch that look off his face so bad.
Risk.
I'm gonna smack him.
All right, Risk is gonna run. As he's running up, he's gonna take a shot with his hand crossbow.
Okay. Miss?
Wait.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh.
And as he's running up into the group, he's gonna say to Viz, because Viz is a little bit of a life lesson in a fight. If the person you're fighting ever heals you in the middle of the fight, you're in for a bad fucking night.
It's
He's
true.
gonna take a swing with his hand axe again.
Oh.
20. Misses.
Roll the d4. Roll the
Oh yeah, roll your d4.
Roll the
Yeah,
D4.
yeah. Huh?
Roll a D4.
Roll
Hit.
it.
Hey!
For
Is
4
that
slashing
another
damage.
drink, technically?
No.
No,
not quite.
it's not that 20.
I mean, I'll just continue drinking.
I'll drink either way.
Okay. Anything else?
That's gonna be the end of my turn.
Alrighty. So as you're doing that,
Actually, I'm sorry. Could we say that can I kind of be standing over Jo, like protectively, kind of like standing over her? She doesn't take up a lot of space. Kind of gotta be like straddling her. That's wrong. That's not the word I was looking for.
Bracing
No.
I mean,
Wow,
maybe you
we-
could like knocked me back a step.
over.
Wow.
Yeah, standing
Stunning,
defensively over.
Just
yes.
Over.
wow.
Yeah.
Because she is prone on the ground.
Mhm.
And a
Yep.
very
Mhm.
tiny individual.
Let's even say that Risk is kind of like crouched, like facing.
It doesn't sound any better.
It's called teabagging.
I was gonna say you're teabagging me, you asshole.
I feel like there should be a more, like, classic name for it. Like,
I know what you're going for. so we'll just go with
Nugget
that.
or something.
All right. So as Risk moves forward, firing off this hand crossbow, you see the bolt still heading straight for him, but he just quickly leans back a bit, still completely embraced by Talia, but his head just leans back, dodging the bolt. You move forward with your hand axe, able to bring it down. The blessing you received from Kai, leading your strike to actually connect with him. Once again, you connect and kind of glance off. You actually see a tiny cut, a little bead of blood coming across his arm as you hit him this time. But then he looks over at you, kind of tilts his head to the side, and then turns his attention back towards Talia. And you see him very quickly, from mere inches away, strikes his fist forward towards Talia.
That bastard.
29 to hit.
Does he have disadvantage on him?
I mean, no, 29 doesn't hit. It's fine.
No, you do not get disadvantage while grappling. The only thing you get when grappling, your speed becomes 0, unless you ungrapple. So, 29 to hit, doing 16 bludgeoning damage to you, Talia.
And half, right? Because I'm raging.
You are raging, yeah. It's
Yep.
bludgeoning damage, so 8 damage. Still standing. Okay. He notices that. Jot.
Can I give him another mean look for swinging at me?
You
Like,
keep on staring
don't
at
You
that.
absolutely
try and
can.
hit me.
Definitely scaring him, then. Jot, you're unconscious. I need a death saving throw, please.
Yep.
That's a critical success.
+1.
Cheers.
Back up.
Drink.
I need to go get
Cheers.
another drink.
I'm awake. I have 1
And
HP.
that's why I got 2, so I didn't have to get back up again.
Oh my
You're so
god!
smart.
I've never rolled a 20 on a death saving throw before.
I don't know if I've ever had one in one of my games that I'm DMing do that.
My
Have you?
HP
Oh, have
is
you?
wrong, but whatever.
I can't remember which game I got knocked unconscious in, but I.
That was
Yeah.
last time, Monday, wasn't
Yeah. Was it
Was that
Monday
you that
session
came
or
back
was
up?
that Strahd?
It was yeah.
it?
That was
Monday during the fight with the dragons.
Yeah,
correct,
that's right.
correct.
He stepped
That's
away
the
for a
first time
second.
I've seen-
I gotta step away for 2 seconds so I can get my bottle opener. Be right back.
Okay.
That's why I brought up 2 drinks. I'm bad. Just can't fucking open one.
Yeah, I had to go get a refill. Sorry about that.
Happy birthday weekend!
Happy birthday weekend.
Oh, is it your birthday weekend?
It
You should
is.
sing happy
Oh, man.
birthday
I didn't
to
know
him.
that.
Sunday is my birthday.
Or not.
Happy birthday!
Thank
Let's
you.
not sing it.
I mean, it's
Marilyn
fine. You
Monroe
don't have to sing
style.
happy birthday. It's fine.
Chat
I'm gonna
does.
do something now that I know that. All right.
Happy
So,
birthday,
so yeah, Risk, I'm gonna move you just a little bit, just so Jot.
No, you're not, because I'm going to smack him if he moves Jot.
All right, Jot has 1 HP. You are
I'm
still
awake.
You're awake.
Oh, actually, we'll keep the same rolling I did before. So you are awake and able to commit or do your turn.
Yep, because you did it at the start. Yep.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna be like, basically like constantly, and open my eyes, and be like, "Ow, that hurt." Ow. And magic missile him again.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
2.
6.
So 6.
Not as good this time. That's super shitty roll.
All right. Anything else?
Ooh. Literally as low as you could get.
Still laying on the ground.
And get up.
Okay.
And he touches me at my feet. Now I stay.
Stay there. Okay.
Well, I don't know. I feel like Jot would run away, but like Shu knows that that's a terrible plan.
I mean, he has the opportunity. Doesn't mean he will.
Yeah, he's not missed anyone so far, has he?
No.
I gave him disadvantage on his 29 to hit me, and he got a 24 instead.
Yeah. I know he's been like everything he's rolled has been like over 20.
You're
Yeah,
you're
this
all.
this isn't a fight we win.
Yeah,
you're all
no, not
getting
remotely. Yeah.
Very good sense that you are.
Oh yeah, we're
being
completely
taught.
unmatched. I'm
You're
just
being
trying to
taught.
decide like if Jot would try to back away or not.
First time.
I'm
she
just
got
gonna
knocked
stay.
on her
I'm just
ass
gonna
like
stay.
that.
I'm
All
just
right.
gonna stay.
All right. So as you wake up, kind of coughing in the moment, you see Lom still standing there, grappled by Talia, thrusting out your hand. 3 more magic missiles going out and making contact with him. He doesn't even turn to look at you. Viz.
I would like to also try and restrain him.
Okay.
While he's currently restrained, I want to like grab his arms or his legs. While Talia has him wrapped around the chest, I want to grab his arms or his legs, or just wrap my legs around his face and apply my testicles to his eyeballs. Whatever I can do to restrain.
Okay, give me an athletics check. We'll see what you can do.
Do I get advantage on it?
Sure.
Yes.
Knock yourself out. 20. Okay. I'll give him disadvantage. A 9. Okay.
Hey, he's even more held
What is he now?
You can essentially
he's
get
super
grapple him once again. I will, since he was already grappled, I'll give you the option to move him within that space. You can knock him prone. You can pick him up over your head, kind of knock him over your shoulder.
Knock him prone.
What do you want to
Knock
do?
him
You can't
prone.
leave that space though.
I don't want to take him out of Talia's grip. I just also want to restrain him, like hold his hands down as possible, making it
Maybe-
difficult for him to hit my friends.
Maybe knock him down then.
Okay.
Well, no, because then Talia will let go of him. Because
Or be
Talia's
drugged.
got him wrapped around the
Or
chest.
just drag together, like you both like dogpile him, basically.
Yeah, my goal is to just be as in the way of any of his attacks as possible. Prevent him from attacking if I can. I don't
Okay, so-
want him to punch people or kick people.
So you want to
and then as a
restrain
bonus,
his appendages. Okay.
yeah. And then as a bonus action, I'm going to inspire Talia.
Okay.
So you're inspired and blessed, right?
All right. So as you all start,
Oh yeah, I had a
literally-
D4 on that.
yeah, literally dogpiling onto poor Hlam here. Viz grabs hold of him, seeing Talia kind of has his middle for the most part restrained down or grappled down. Viz slides around, grabbing hold of the arms, kind of securing him next to his back, trying to hold him down. You see him move his legs kind of around, trying to get in the way, do as best he can to stop him from attacking. And he tries to move through that and attack Talia again. At disadvantage of 24.
I guess
Motherfucker.
that hits.
It could have been the
I guess a
31.
24 misses. It's fine.
No,
Just barely hits.
Just barely. Just
Dude,
barely.
That's barely a scratch.
That's 12 bludgeoning damage. Have because you're raging, doing only 6, but unfortunately, Talia falls to the ground with this quick hit, bursting free of Viz's grasp as he reaches
Why have
around.
my grasp?
But I feel like if I'm on top of him and he knocks me unconscious, it's like dead weight body on top of
You're
him.
like holding onto him in a bear hug. You're not really on top.
Yeah,
of him.
there's 2 people attached to him.
Yeah. You're grabbing onto his arms. His right arm just breaks free, slapping Talia right in the mid, and you see her eyes just start to roll back as she crumples over forward, landing on the ground. With
Can
a
I
heavy thump.
mumble like, you motherfucker? Because I'm like,
Sure. All those are gone now. Well, I guess you're still inspired.
For the
I'm gonna have
throws.
nice
Actually, yeah.
inspirational
Can you
dreams.
on a destiny throw?
Sure.
Can you feel it?
Sure. All right.
But I didn't make a save throw or anything, and he just knocked my ass out.
All right, Kai, you're back up. bud.
So with Talia down, what does that do for advantage on the other side?
He's
for
still
flanking.
preoccupied with that, with Talia.
So say yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're still flanking.
I will kind of throw the shield back onto my back and kind of wrap my arm around and kind of just put it on my back, so dropping the shield basically for now. And then going to two-handed quarterstaff attack at advantage, a 21 to hit.
Okay. Are you blessed?
No, I am not.
You miss.
Oh, this guy's AC is so
Oh, I
low.
see.
Huh?
I think a 24 is the lowest that's hit.
Then Kai's gonna kind of chuckle, like to himself.
nervous chuckle? Or?
Like a very nervous chuckle and be like, yeah, sorry about that.
Okay.
And that's gonna end his turn.
I feel like I want that to be that, like, the guy just caught the staff.
Like he holds on to it and looks at him.
Definitely gonna hit him.
So
Yeah.
He just, like,
I like
grabs.
the idea that Viz is still attached to the arm as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh, never mind.
Okay. So as Kai
Oh no.
doffs his shield, putting it onto his back, slinging around, you see him grabbing this quarterstaff, and as he does so, brings it heavily with both hands straight down. You see a lot of speed and force behind this as he's bringing it down right towards Hlam's head. And then you see the staff stop. And you see the free hand that Hlam was able to break free has one finger up, stopping the staff. He turns and looks back behind him at Kai, and with the same hand he pushes the staff up and strikes back behind him with one unarmed strike. Still at disadvantage, 21.
Yep.
It misses. Misses.
Totally misses. It's fine.
You
This
take
fucker's
15,
got legendary actions, y'all. We're
15 bludgeoning damage.
Cool.
As he hits you, make a con saving throw.
The wind leaves my chest and I collapse to the ground because, damn.
oh.
As the strike hits you, as you said, all of the wind in your body just completely vacates your body, and you're hung over, and you are stunned until the end of Hlam's
Ooh, buddy.
turn.
Yep.
Oh, damn.
With that, Hlam looks patiently through you. He says, "You've done well. There's still much you need to learn, but I think the lesson needs to end here." And with that, he thinks for a moment. He stops and looks over towards Viz. Says, "You can release me, or..."
I like him.
So he's saying that he's kind of looking at his hand, and his hand's kind of grasping and making a fist a bit, and then opening back up very slowly. And with that, as he's released, he stands up straight and looks down towards Talia. Talia, you feel radiating energies. He kind of holds his hand out, much like he did towards Viz. And he says a brief word that you all can't quite understand. And you are healed up for 11, Talia. And with that, Hlam stands up, his arms reaching back behind his back once again and clasping, and looks around at you and says, "You fought well. Still somewhat green, but in time, that will change." Just Talia.
He's basically just, if anyone's unconscious, he makes them not unconscious. He's like,
Except for you, apparently.
well,
If we
because
don't-
I came out of it.
If we'd had Seamus in that fight, I think we would have won.
My
We
next
had Seamus
round,
in there.
with Talia down and like not able to grab him, I was just gonna stand up and just let him like present my neck to him. Just do it. Just do it. Stand
Just take me.
It's just the lesson to just surrender because that's what I'm doing.
Were there chairs over by the table, Havoc?
There were not.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna
There's a
sit down.
teapot though.
I'm
because
gonna
there's a
sit back
teapot.
down on
Sure,
the
that's-
ground and just be like,
What happens if we took the teapot and like broke it over his head and like forced the liquid in his mouth?
I mean, I drank some of it. It was fine. I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't
That
take
happened.
it.
Well, I
so-
drank it, and it didn't hurt me. So, actually, yeah, I'm gonna go get my cup back and then sit back down on the ground.
Real shaky like.
Just be.
I'm gonna sit down and be like, never mind. Sorry. Just kidding.
So as this fight ends, you see Hlam looking at you, you see that he's moving over towards Talia, attempting to hold out a hand, which I'm assuming she doesn't take to get back up.
No, she does not.
She probably tries to stab him again.
With that, he kind of looks at her and nods, seeing that she's all right, and glances over the rest of you. Cast that, twice?
If
Oh, it is
Talia
track.
could spit acid, she would probably give like the look of spitting acid on his hand if he tried to help her out.
And that is to Jot first and Kai second.
Hey, I suddenly feel so much
Then-
better than. Whoops, not 43.
Are we at the combat?
Yes, you're out of combat.
So we could take a short rest, and I can.
That is to Risk.
Well, Risk was going to take it out of his own.
Well, don't burn it if
Yeah.
he's,
Oh,
gonna,
okay,
he's
okay.
gonna give you free healing.
And that is to Viz.
Thanks.
So as you
Thanks.
see him, stay looking around at all of you, he begins to kind of chant to himself. And as he does so, you all feel this radiant energy entering your bodies as your wounds start to feel much less painful than they did before. Definitely hurt. With that, he looks around.
But where like Jot was like rubbing her chest, where he just like popped, and like, oh, that feels better now. Okay.
With that, Halam looks at you and he kind of bows his head to each of you in turn. Says, I hope that lesson taught you something. What it was, I cannot say. I can only offer my teachings and hope that you get something out of it.
Should I insight check that to know what I was supposed to learn? Because I'm not feeling like I learned anything.
I feel very angry inside.
Feeling pretty cryptic. Like we worked together, got our ass beat.
I
I'm not
think the
sure what.
lesson is
what not
don't fight with people that like
sure. In caves.
in caves.
I
Yes.
woke up feeling like I wanted to murder him. No one's ever knocked me unconscious before.
All of you give me insight checks. Let's
Three of you have now joined the unconscious club. It's nice here.
Hey, there we go.
Okay, so one of y'all beat the DC. So as this is happening, as he
What a
looking
wise
around
cleric we have.
and
Apparently.
He's still spooked. He's still rattled.
Yeah.
solid 3 though. So as he's looking around at you in turn, all of you kind of having a bit of a confused look on your faces. You just got your asses kicked pretty handedly by an old.
Did you learn your lesson? I don't know.
As you're looking at him, you do see where a couple of the hits hit. There's scratches across the skin. There's a cut on one side. He kind of stands back and he kind of rolls his shoulders a bit. And as he completes the movement, you see his skin looks pristine, absolutely pristine. Everything you did to him is gone, and he kind of sighs a bit and looks around at you and says,
I'm gonna put away my healer's kit, looking disappointed.
there are times when you'll be presented with a challenge, one that is too formidable for you, one that you cannot hope to surpass. It is not a fault of your own or anything else. It is simply the way things are. What this lesson was meant to teach you was that sometimes there is no winning. There is only surviving. Had I been serious. With that, he turns around and you see a small kind of rock, bigger than a pebble, but not quite a boulder or anything like that. He holds it up in his hand, kind of looks at it. And he crushes it into dust in his hand and looks at it. And with that, he turns it over and you see what the equivalent of sand flowing out of his hand. Now, this is not meant to boast for my own strength or anything of the sort. I am but an old man, but an old man who has been practicing, learning, strengthening myself and my body, my soul, for a very long time. You too will be one day as strong as this. Kind of glances around. Probably stronger. I will not be around by that, I imagine, but even then, I hope that this small lesson aids you on your journeys yet to come. And with that, he steps back again and looks around and sees that you all kind of put your minus Jot, your tea glasses down on the table as you prepare to fight him and such. He walks back over and you see him kind of dumping out each tea glass as it's now grown cold, and he goes back over with the pot, pours glasses for everyone once again, and then stands beside the table. Says, "If you are thirsty."
I'm not gonna drink a tea unless other people drink it and get super strong, and then Talia's very interested.
Kai's going to drink the tea and act like he became super strong.
I feel like I would know.
Kai's going to do a performance check to see if he can convince
Alright.
her.
Performance versus insight.
Let's do this.
Insight's like my worst.
Oh no.
You felt like you could know. Ooh.
Oh, no.
You're still inspired.
You are. Oh yeah, you are so inspired.
Roll 20 crash, hold on.
Oh, rip.
I've got to open it
I don't
in this.
even rolling a d4 though. I wouldn't beat that at the highest.
Well, you don't know what he rolled
hasn't rolled
yet.
the performance yet. He could, Now, wait.
That's deception.
Beats, right?
Oh, come
your
on.
inspiration.
It's deception. It isn't
Oh,
performance.
hold on.
I would like to feel my inspiration.
Why is it not opening?
Oh, shit.
Nothing is opening, like it's crashing on my
Everything
screen.
is
Aw.
broken.
Oh my god.
That's fucking amazing.
I
All right,
can roll it for you, but-
Perception?
No.
Performance.
The other P word.
Oh, that wasn't your roll. Okay, never
No,
mind.
that was a deception.
From one side of the scale to the other, it's fine.
Cheers, everybody. So,
Congrats.
That 20.
as you're watching this, Talia, you see once again Plum moving back, his same ever serene expression across his face, and he stands back, and everybody kind of looks amongst each other. Some of you still rubbing your wounds that feel much better now, but with that, Kai strides forward, and as he drinks the tea, you see a look of insight and wisdom seems to cross his face, and you see him kind of tightening and opening his hands. He seems to be thinking about a lot and seems to have gained something from drinking this tea.
Is there a teapot on the table?
Yes.
Talia's gonna grab the teapot and just like chug that motherfucking teapot.
You get about a mouthful. That was all that's left inside.
If given the
Plus
opportunity,
my cup, right? Because I didn't drink my cup before, so I get a cup and like a mouthful.
It's fucking amazing. I love it.
if
so
given the opportunity, I'd like to ask him a question, but I don't want to interrupt his train of thought too much.
Okay. So yeah, as you drink this tea, it's a very plain tasting tea. You don't feel anything.
I'm gonna glare at him, at Kai, and just make him feel my hatred of like, why are you feeling strong and I'm not?
Kai's over there ripping phone books in half.
With that, Plum looks at you in turn once again and sees a thoughtful expression across Viz's face. Says, "There's something on your mind."
I'm curious. Our quest that we are on for our friend Jot was to come and seek your wisdom, and the wisdom that you had for Waterdeep. And you know of a pending attack coming before summer. I'm hoping that we can, just as you have taught us now, that there are sometimes fights we need to run away from. I hope that Waterdeep doesn't have to face that. I hope Waterdeep doesn't have to run from this fight. And I'm wondering if there's anything we can do to learn more of this impending threat. If you know of a way for us to discover more information so that we can better protect ourselves and to better prepare. Because as you've given us the answer to a potential problem, sometimes there are multiple answers. And I would like us in the city of Waterdeep to be as prepared as possible.
So as you say that, you see Hlam listening intently, staring right at you, and he nods, and you see a bit of a somber expression, not necessarily sad, but a bit more serious, crossing his face instead of the serene, and he thinks for a moment, and he says, "I am but a vessel for the wisdom that I can impart to others, and even myself, for that matter. I, too, hope that whatever impending crisis or threats may be facing the city, which is my home, much as it is yours, is something that can be combated or stopped completely. I do not know what it is. I do not know how to stop it. I do not know why I even have this wisdom. But I do know that I was given this task of giving this information to you. It is not happenstance that you came to seek me out and that we spoke tonight. It happened for a reason. I do not know this reason, unfortunately. I do not know if it will help you or hurt you in the future. But I know that you do have it. And I do know that I was meant to give it to you.
I think Denier and Tyr, our gods, are of a similar alignment. And I think that above, the gods are moving us as they see fit and putting us in a position to better the world. And I thank you for the time that you've spent with us this evening and the lessons you have taught us and the wisdom you have bestowed upon us. If you ever feel another calling from Tyr or a piece of wisdom, please reach out. We will make this journey and visit you if you ever feel there's a piece of wisdom that you think would be beneficial to us.
And with that, he bows his head towards you, Viz, and then looks at the rest of you. And thank you for being adept learners. I haven't fought in quite a while. It was fun, I think. I hope I didn't hurt you too badly.
Fine. I make except for when I went unconscious.
With that, he nods and says, if there's nothing else, I'm sure the one that sent you, and he looks over at Jot, on this quest will be wanting to hear from you.
Just, thank you, sir.
And with that, he nods once again to you, and you see him kind of sitting back down, and as he does so, he crosses his legs and nods one more time to all of you, and then closes his eyes and holds his hands up once again, much like you saw him when you entered this chamber originally.
Go and put my cup back over by the table.
Anything else? Y'all leaving?
I want to give him a really mean look as we're leaving. If we're leaving, I want to give him a really mean look because I am pissed that he knocked me unconscious.
Do I see like a bedroll or a second chamber or something that indicates like where he sleeps?
Nope. You see a hard rock floor.
Where does he poop?
Your mind is trailed back to the tracks that Jot saw.
Ah, Jot was playing with people poop and not bird poop.
I didn't touch any poop, man.
No, that was definitely bird poop, but you saw the tracks going off the edge.
He just squats off the edge.
All right. I guess we should go back to Realtor.
Everybody in favor?
Yeah, I'm in
What,
agreement with that.
if we step back out, so yeah, I guess we head back out to the mouth of the cave, like, is the sun completely set?
Mm-hmm.
Is it super dark?
I want to wait till the most inconvenient time, and then I want to approach the tower.
We gotta
I'm
get down off
tempted to
this
cast-
mountain
I'm
first.
tempted to cast invisibility on myself as we approach the tower.
Okay.
No, I'm
Can you
not
cast
going.
invisibility on yourself?
Yeah, I think it's a first level spell, invisibility.
Is it?
Hmm?
I think
It's a
so.
second level.
Yeah, invisibility is super low.
Risk is gonna wait for everyone to leave the room.
Okay.
I don't have it.
I was just saying, I really think it's a second level spell.
It might be,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
remember. Alright, so the rest of you start heading out down the tunnel. Risk, you're still there.
Risk is just kind of very torn between. He's angry and disappointed and impressed and lots of things at the same time, and just simply says, I'm going to come back. Because if this was real, my friends would be dead and I couldn't do anything about it. That's not something I can abide. And not waiting for a response per se, he's going to start leaving.
As you're moving down, you hear a voice kind of echoing down, and it seems very soft and not echoing, beyond your ears, but you hear the voice saying, and it's definitely coming from Halam, "You're welcome anytime to come visit me, and if you would like more teaching, I am happy to help you."
Verts looks over his shoulder and smiles. I always enjoy more teaching. And leaves the room. Cave. Place.
All right, so as I move back over to some different music.
That was super chill music. I like that.
Yeah,
Even during the battle, it was just like,
I wanted
wanted
Halam to have his own music because
Yeah,
Halam's
no,
super
it's
cool.
Oh, I gotcha, Steve. I gotcha.
When they get outside, Lisk is gonna elbow Viz and be like, who do you think would win? Darnan or Halam?
Durnan.
Have you seen his sword?
Durnan's gonna fight dirty for sure.
Oh, have you?
I have.
Like
You
if
have
there
to.
was a throwdown between the two and it came to it, like Durnan would be biting and look, he's super nice, and like if he knocked Durnan down, he would heal Durnan, and Durnan would get back up and stab him right in the dick. Like Durnan's a certified badass.
All the ways in the dick. All right.
Havok, I've got a new goal for this campaign.
Stab Durnan in the dick. All right.
He cleared my fog with a swipe of a sword. I would put my money on him.
I want to find a way, whatever we need to do, to have a staged fight, an organized fight between Darnan and Halam.
I just want them on my side because something's coming before summer. I trust him explicitly. He damn near killed us. If he predicts the future, great, I believe. So I just want to make sure they're on our side before, impending doom happens.
All right. So as you all make your way out, you're able to easily see through the night. You see, looking over Waterdeep, you're presented with this somewhat picturesque moment of serene beauty below you as you're looking down upon Waterdeep. You start to see, not directly below you towards the seaward, but as you look out to the east, actually pull up the map so I can see, you start to see little dots, and it almost looks like you're looking down upon the night sky. You see dots of pinpricks of light all across, and you recognize these as the drift globes that come out every night in Waterdeep to illuminate the streets and the city above. Never seen them, though, from your current perspective, from up above. It's very calming. But with that, you all know that there's a task to be done. You must report back to the tower, back to the Blackstaff.
John, do you still have that spell?
What?
Do you still have that spell?
Which spell?
The one if we all fall?
I thought about doing this earlier, dude, and I was like,
Should
John
we-
would never do
should
this,
we-
but I so
should
want to
we-
do this. I know
should
what
we
you're
all
thinking.
Should we all just jump off? Same time?
Like, Shoe so wants to do this so bad.
That's why Biz asking. Be like, hey, you mentioned that spell earlier. Do you still have it?
The one where if we fall, I may slow us down.
Yeah.
You can do that?
Yeah, she told me about it earlier. She said if you guys fell, she was gonna catch you so you didn't
Yeah,
get hurt.
I was like trying to watch you guys and make sure if you fell off the like cliff that you wouldn't die.
To clarify, this works. Do you have to be... If I were to jump off the cliff now and you cast it on me, would I be okay until I hit the ground, or would I be okay until I got 60 feet away from you?
You're good for like a minute of falling. And if you get to where the ground would be by a minute, you're fine. If you fall for more than a minute, you've like floated down for a minute, and then you fall fast again.
So how you feeling about your magic ability? You still got some left in you?
No, I'm out of spell slots.
Oh shit! Oh, I swear to God,
as Risk takes his foot away from me.
I swear to God, I almost just jumped off and said, "Catch me!" I almost just jumped off.
If she would have said she had spell slots and was like, no, I was gonna try and pick her up and jump off the ledge with her. Like, I pick her up and take her with us. Save us or we die.
I was thinking I had one more, but I forgot about the mage armor that was completely worthless.
You
that
almost
I cast.
critical rolled all over the place. You almost just threw up thinking you'd be fine.
I guess we'll walk down the mountains. We'll walk down the mountain like plebs.
I mean, if we want to, though, if we sit here for an
We
hour,
can walk down faster than an hour.
No, it took us longer than an hour to get up.
Yeah, but it's downhill.
To climb.
It's downhill. It's downhill.
We'll just climb down. If we sit here for an hour, I could cast it, but no.
I kind of want to wait just for fun. It feels like really fun.
The
Right?
mountain's not going anywhere. We can do it next time.
Also, Jot would never do this, but
Yeah, but we'll just pick you up and do
wants
it.
to do this.
We
so
will
bad.
force you.
I almost just jumped off so they
Oh my
catch
god,
me.
dude.
Oh,
I was thinking,
God.
I was like, oh no, we can totally still do this, and I forgot that I cast the mage armor too. So I've used all three. So yeah, no.
I've got all my spell slots.
Havoc, what would the fall damage have been for that?
All of it.
It's
Max.
You max out at 20d6.
Yeah, it's 1d6 per 20 feet, right?
So I guess it, however close
You
the
would be
ledge
dead.
is, then your forward momentum in the next ledge, and then the forward momentum in the next.
Regardless, you would be dead. Like there's no. Okay, if you rolled nat ones on every single thing, it wouldn't one hit kill you.
It would have been my roll, just
Yeah.
so you know.
Yeah.
21s, I'd still be awake.
You're totally dead. It's fine.
So I want
It's
to
fine.
stealthily approach the tower.
Okay. So, before that,
Yeah, we have to get down.
you
this
all
mountain.
start moving down. You find that the descent, even though it is dark, this kind of radiating light from the hundreds of drift globes you see below you is able to light up your path for the most part. You know, it's still very dark and you have to be kind of careful. But it's far easier to move down the mountain than it was to climb up. So you find yourself able to briskly get down in about 45 minutes, just under an hour or so, all the way back down to the base here at the southern edge. And with that, you all agree that heading back to the Black Tower, the Tower of the Black Staff, is your plan. So you all start moving up to the north. It takes you a little bit of time. At this point, night is well set in. The city streets are mostly empty. You do still hear kind of a ruckus as you're leaving the dock ward that you assume comes from all the the raucous taverns rather from down there. But with that, you start making your way towards Blackstaff Tower. Anybody else stealthing?
Sure. Yeah, Viz wants to be sneaky, so Risk is gonna go along with it.
Why are you sneaking?
Because you said they would know when we were showing up, and I want to try and surprise them.
I think they can just use magic to tell where we are, probably.
Do you
So
think
as
they're
you're all
watching us the whole time?
moving
Yeah.
forward, you see Viz and Risk are kind of creeping along, kind of hiding to the shadows and such. As you start to approach, you start to see this tower. It was kind of hard to see as you approached, noticing not a lot of drift globes in this particular area. As you get closer, you see that there almost seems to be a ring of blackness outstretching out to the east a bit, and you see that the drift globes seem to have kind of made a bit of a semicircular perimeter about 150 feet or so away from the tower itself. As you move closer, once again, Risk and Viz creep into the shadows, the rest of you kind of looking oddly at them as you approach and such. You all hear a voice. I can see you, you know.
No, you can't.
No, it's fine. You don't see us.
No, you can't. Nope. I rolled really high. I'm being very sneaky.
I'm gonna just ignore the voice, and I'm gonna go up to the thing, and I'm gonna hit the first stone on the left, the third stone from the right, and the second stone from the bottom.
I feel like we're in Harry Potter, turning into the Diagon Alley.
I see you. Nope.
You really paid attention to that, did you? And you all start to see kind of illuminated as a man steps forward, his face saying, and you clearly see Realister standing there. And with that, he looks over at Viz at the tower, kind of tapping stones, and shakes his head and looks back towards the rest of you and says, well, you are here alive, so Halam must have liked you. Do you have any word from him?
Does he
Just want to let you know,
kill
the
people
reason
sometimes?
He says you're a
paid-
ghost.
The reason I paid so much attention is because you gave us a quest. We're letting the Black Staff know that we are capable. You mentioned this was something we needed to do. We see through it. No questions asked. You said when we came back for us to tap on the stones, we're doing it. Very good at following basic instructions. You're going to give us a basic task. We're going to do it to the best damned bit of our abilities.
Well, that is yet to be seen. What word did Halam have for any threats to the city?
That
I
wasn't.
think he used the word impending doom.
I'm
They
sorry
will
to order
strike
peace.
before summer.
That seems unlike Halam. He's usually not so straightforward.
He, I think,
Really liked us.
yeah, really
Was
liked
it
us.
to
For
tell you or the Black Staff?
He mentioned
Word.
fire like everywhere. I don't know.
With that, he kind of glances around at the rest of you and then looks at Jot. Says, you are telling the Blackstaff by telling me. She is preoccupied at the moment with a mission. I am to relay your words back to her from Halam. Very tedious matter.
Is it safe to speak outside?
Everybody give me perception checks.
Also, do I believe him?
Give me an insight check.
I was going to do the same.
Sure.
Perception and insight.
Drink. Cheers.
Good job, guys.
Hey.
You drink that rum.
I have drank both my beers. I'm sad about it.
Wait. Oh, damn it. I rolled a 7. GG.
Now I have drank all my
7.
alcohol.
He's so truthful, you guys.
Totally truthful.
Okay, a couple of y'all.
Argument.
A few of y'all rolled. All right. Viz, Kai, and Risk. You all notice as who asked if it was safe to speak outside?
Me.
Viz. Okay. As he says that, you see him looking around, and as he does so, you see him kind of moving his hands, and as he does so, all of your ears kind of pop a bit as you feel the sphere of energy kind of surrounding you. Couple of you spellcasters would probably recognize this as kind of a containment field of magic to prevent sound from exiting out around you. Kind of like silence, but inverted a bit. Jot and Risk, as you're listening to him, you see him yawning a bit. He's yes, just give me the information. He seems really sleepy. He just wants to get this over with. He doesn't seem like he's trying to pull one over on you or anything. He's still very businesslike, albeit a bit amused by Viz still listening to his obvious fake ploys. It gives him little enjoyment because it's late. He wants to be in bed. He wants to hear your news and then go about his night.
Okay. Then, he said, evil grows more paranoid and less patient. They will strike before summer starts.
With that, you see Realitar pulling out the same kind of notebook full of parchment that he had before, and he scribbles down your words as you say them. That he kind of nods and sighs a bit, and he says, as cryptic as per usual, and he shuts the notebook. He says, I thank you for your service.
He punched us too, if that's important.
A lot.
Like a lot.
Like a lot.
You took his offer on teaching.
Well, yes, he offered to teach us, and we were like, well, we're literally here to learn things. That's what our mission said. We're like, of course we're going to learn things.
It was
Then he
all
proceeded
Viz's
to punch
idea.
us.
You.
He's a terrible teacher.
That's exactly how you teach Viz, Talia.
I wouldn't recommend him as a teacher for anything really other than punching. Like his words, while deep and wise sounding, very cryptic and confusing.
For that, I know that to be the truth. He is a very, as I said before, interesting individual, but also one of the greatest warriors who has ever lived.
We almost had him.
Not even
Viz
gonna do
Viz
deception.
says, starting to laugh. We almost had him.
Talia's gonna give him a look like, what the fuck?
I have no doubt of that. But
He drew blood. He bled. He can bleed.
he can bleed.
But then he just shook it off. He was like, "Oh yeah, look at these wounds." Yeah.
That he just kind of waves his hand and says, "Yes, yes, it's very amusing." Anyway, we thank you for your service. We will not forget this. Expect us to reach out again soon, later. We're not too sure. Whenever work arises that your particular skill sets may fit into, we'll be in contact. Expect, and he kind of looks over at Jot and once again kind of scanning through the magic users of the party. Expect another message from the Black Staff when she requires your aid. And once again, come at once if you can. If not, well, no harm, no foul, I suppose, but we will remember that too. I bid you all a good night. I need some. And with that, he nods to you all in turn, very businesslike, and turns towards the tower, disappearing through another door that appears before him that he walks through and shuts behind him.
Good night, sweet dreams. See you next time. See you
I
later.
think-
Have a good night.
I wish he tried to teach us to listen, because I think we could have taken him.
Did you see that? Like
BRB,
Zone-
giving
zone
you
of-
her stats.
that zone of silence? That was cool.
All right, so as you all find yourself standing before Blackstaff Tower, having accomplished a mission, one that you did well, you feel that you accomplished your goal.
You don't feel very accomplished.
You feel that if nothing else, even though your ultimate goal is to get some monetary rewards from your adventures to try to possibly rebuild your new home, which I'm assuming you're probably going to be making your way back to at some point tonight. But before we get to that, we're going to go ahead and end our session for the evening.
Yay.
Yay.
Ran a little bit later, but I want y'all to get through with that.
That was
so.
good. That was really fun.
I had a lot
Good
of fun.
stopping point.
Jot'll just be like, so I
Do
know
we
I have
have-
money, but thank you guys for going along with that.
I mean, if your next mission you really want us to go on could not involve us getting
No,
punched
okay,
repeatedly.
next time if they want us to do something, we definitely insist that they pay us.
Up front.
Something.
I mean,
upfront.
next time we just say, hey, you know how you sent me ascending? Just send him ascending. And then there's less being punched.
I wonder if I can ask for payment of like a soaking tub. Just be like, do you have a tub?
Yeah.
I'd really like a soaking tub.
Isn't-
Do you have
is
that for payment?
Is there not a big like tub in one of the rooms in the house?
There's a private bath, but I don't know. I think when she says soaking tub, I think she means small pool. Like, she wants a mini ocean in our
Entire
house.
little, just like pool.
Well, not like mini ocean, but I think I put Talia at like 5'4" to like 5'8", and I feel like in a regular bathtub, she's still halfway hanging out, so she needs like a deep soaking tub. And I picked the room closest to like a private bathroom, but most standard bathrooms come with like a wading pool tub.
Tell me
Maybe-
more about D&D standard bathrooms.
Maybe,
Oh,
maybe we
this
could
is going to
flood
be
the
a whole
bathroom,
thing that I have
flood
to
the
put lore
basement.
into, huh? Okay.
Maybe we find the nearest river, we go and dam it up, and we reroute it to go through our house.
Can we
Waterdeep
put salt
note.
in it?
Let's
Alternatively, we have a saltwater pool in like
The
is there a
basement.
backyard. We don't have a backyard.
see. Design tub for salt water and full body immersion.
But I feel like everyone can benefit from it because the new thing in non-D&D world is the float soak.
Yo,
like,
those are awesome. The
deprivation
deprivation
pools.
chambers.
Is
So-
that
I'm,
right?
I'm
Deprivation
claustrophobic,
chambers,
so
isn't that
that's
where
your-
there's like no sensory?
Yeah,
Yes.
That sounds
No
terrifying to me.
it does sound terrifying.
So Kai's next level,
I
he's
can't do that.
gonna go ahead and take wizard so he can get prestidigitation and
Just put
take
water
care of all of
everywhere.
it. It's fine. We're done.
Like
It's fine.
me
Alright, I need
in
a drink.
real
I'll be right
life,
back.
I don't
Alright.
think I could
Alright.
do that.
I'm gonna end stream.
Oh,
Be right back,
it's-
guys. All right.
Hey,
Bye.
sorry about the dick. Comments.
The sensory
Repeatedly.
All right, so that's gonna do it for tonight's stream. Let me do this. Thank you for being here. Very much appreciate it. A lot of fun, as this game always is. Don't forget, next week, Tuesday is Tyranny. Wednesday is going to be Amongst the Giants. Should be a lot of fun, both of those games. With the holidays, it's unfortunate we don't have the kind of time that we would normally want to have to be able to bring you games, but we're doing everything we can. I promise you. We will certainly search out and see if we can't find some free time to maybe run some one-shots or something like that. But thank you again for being here. Rendus is on. We are definitely going to go and say hi to Rendus. Thank you again for being here. Come hang out with us Sunday. No, Ascension is not happening on Sunday. Tuesday for Tyranny. I will see you guys on Tuesday. Until then, have a good night. Be safe and have a happy holiday if I don't see you before then. But I will hopefully see you soon. So have a good night, guys.